Alright, so now you guys should be able to see my screen. Alright, so this is the display capture I'll be using. I'm going to go full screen. Switch between. And this is what we're working with today. This is all 67 films and shows I've watched this year. At least I believe. This is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 21, 42, 63, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 67. I actually organized it in order I watched it in, then it got ruined just now, so I'm probably just going to have to. Actually, no, I'm going to do it in order. So before I start, I'm going to organize it in the order I watched it in, only because I kind of want it to be neat like that, but it shouldn't take long at all. I don't think it will. It really shouldn't. Like, it didn't take me long at all to get this fixed. Beast Game Stack at the bottom. But how's everybody doing today? I'm gonna make sure everything's good on the stream too for my phone. I think so. Yeah, it should be good. Should probably share it around as well, like once I'm ready. Can you turn your mic up? Is my mic that low? Kind of. Okay. Now, can you guys hear me better? I hope so. But now my thing is like, now it's like full. Like I put it on full just now, as you can see. Oops, didn't mean to do that. But I do apologize. I'm gonna promote the stream. I'm just gonna organize it in order. It should take like 2 minutes, not even. It didn't take me long when I was doing it before. But I want to do it in this order. I think it's just better that way, I guess. But there's a lot of good and there's a lot of bad on this tier list. I can already tell just by like sorting it out. There's just a lot of disappointments to come out this year. I'll definitely say that. And I know all the ratings I gave. I gave everything from like Letterbox and serialized, but I have no idea. So this kind of it's gonna be almost like a blind ranking, which will be fun. I think it'll be fun. But I know there's definitely some movies and shows that I missed this year that I never got the chance to watch because of time. Because I'll start a show and then I'll finish it like a month or two later. That was a problem, and it would be like a short show too. Like it would be like a one of those shorter shows, which is the problem. So that's my fault, but hopefully in 2025 that won't be a problem so much because I feel like if this does well, I can definitely do more of these. My mouth is not that far from my mic. I think I was just a little quiet. I should promote this on Letterboxd as well. Actually, I'll do that now real quick. Let me just I'll change it. It's a
Call me a hypocrite, but I hate
No longer black. There we go. I think it would be fire, in my opinion. What were we up to? We are up to Shogun. Okay. Acolytes there already. Garfield, Smiley Friends, Avatar. And the order I'm changing is the order I finished it. So some of these are literally within days apart. Some of these are literally within like weeks apart. Just crazy. But you might notice a lot of stuff. You might not notice a lot of stuff. Okay, then Romulus. Where's Bricktoons? Borderlands. But in this stream, I'll go like in depth on everything too. Like I'll yap like as if I was doing like an actual video. Last year I was supposed to do a video. I never did because I was so bored of editing it. I'm like, there's no way people are gonna sit through this. So I should have streamed it, but I don't know why I was stupid enough to not think that. So earlier last year, I'm like, you know what? For 2024 I'll stream it, and here we are now. I definitely should have done the stream earlier, but that's my fault for procrastinating and pushing stuff back so much. But I know a lot of these like films and shows, I mainly only watched them just for this. Like if I wasn't doing a live stream or video ranking all of this, I 100% would not do it at all. Like I would not watch them at all. Did it for YouTube. But yeah, if you see my Sonic video, I'm sure you know where these two will go. I mean, I might change it in this stream, we'll see. But it should be relatively the same. I could have also done it by release order, but I think watch order for me is just better. It's a lot more organizing, but it's fun. And then yeah, Beast Games. That's I did watch. I did start watching it before these two, but the show ain't done yet, so I'm not gonna include it in. Only thing I forgot was Skeleton Crew. What's up, Greenblade? How you doing? Less filler and more Marvel Rivals. That's crazy. It's negative 5 degrees Celsius in your area. That's crazy. You better get warmed. I think one show I want to include in here is Skeleton Crew. I never started watching it though. It's because I took too long finishing The Penguin and started What If Season 3 too late. It took too long to finish Secret Level 2 because I was like, that sucked. So, alright, let's get started with this. I don't want to prolong everything. Of course, we're going to start off with mid, trash, mid, average, mid. The whole thing. This whole row is like, oh my gosh, what did I get myself into? Oh my gosh, what did I get myself into? Echo is the first show, and oh my gosh, when I was watching I watched this in January, so this was the first ever 2024 show I've seen. This was also, what's up, Alter? How you doing today? All right, so Echo was pretty bad. I'll be honest. I think the majority of people who are gonna watch this are there for either Daredevil or Kingpin. Kingpin was there, but he got like humiliated like in the finale, so that's not something I like. Obviously, Daredevil was there for a 30-second fight left, and it's sad because they're giving so many characters. They're giving I'm sorry, that makes no sense. They're making spin-off shows for characters and giving those side characters their own spin-off shows. This is pretty much that. I'm assuming this show only exists so Daredevil, Kingpin, they're in there. Otherwise, it's not really worth the watch, in my opinion. So Echo for me is gonna go mid. Uh, yeah, it's about mid. It's not great at all. It's it's pretty bad if you ask me. Then you got Lift. This is probably actually this is a lot worse. Um, I remember I watched this early this year. I was watching it with my mom too. I think my mom liked it a little bit, but I was like, "There's no way." Like it's really bad. You got like standard. It's like if you're watching like a standard mid Netflix movie. Like a lot of Netflix originals are pretty bad. This was pretty much that. Um, and I can gladly say that the next the next movie on the list is gonna be the first one of the bottom five. You know, if you heard about Megamind 2, I'm pretty sure you know why it's at the bottom. Like this was like the worst thing I've seen ever. Like when I mean ever, I mean ever. This was the worst thing I watched 2024, worst film I watched 2024, worst film I watched ever. Like it was like they couldn't even do a Megamind sequel right. Like that's how bad it was. You waited like a decade for a sequel and it was garbage. It was so garbage. Like I don't understand. Like it was so I'm not even gonna talk about it. I'm not gonna waste my brain power talking about it. We do have not Acolyte. I almost said where's Acolyte? It's like down here. You know, we got Argo next. Some people might disagree. Some people might agree with it. It's also gonna be in mid. This was a very messy film. It like the trailers make it look like it's gonna be like a fun 3.0, 3.5 average action flick, or like in between there. It really wasn't. Like this was pretty bad. The action scenes are alright. It felt like I was watching like I was like, it was, cinematography was horrible. Like it felt like I was listening to characters doing stuff or saying stuff behind a green screen. There are so many plot twists, so many like it's sad because there's a lot of likable or well-known actors in here, yet the characters weren't really like that, which sucks. But yeah, I mean honestly, I felt bad for Bryce Dallas Howard because I don't even know if she looked like she wanted to be in that movie. And then we got Beekeeper next. I'll say this is average. You know, we're finally moving up the list a bit. Beekeeper was average. It wasn't horrible. Um, I don't think it's a standout. Like it was a January 2024 release. It was, you know, just throw it out in January because we got no idea where else to throw it. It's probably gonna. Actually, no. It made 100 million. It made 100 million. Josh Hutcherson was the villain. He should have just stayed in FNAF. I don't know what he was doing there. Like Argo, you know, the action was alright. Maybe Argo's was a bit better, but they're both pretty good. The action was pretty much the standout in both of them. I think cinematography was fine. Acting was alright. Like it was, you know, what you would expect out of a January movie. Uh, this is pretty much it. And then you got Megamind Rules, also bottom five. I don't. I think it's sad because I think both Megamind projects this year are gonna be in the bottom five. I'm not. I'm dead serious when I say that, by the way, because this was horrible, dude. I remember I watched. They came up with the first 8 episodes, and then after I forgot how long it was. Maybe it was like a month or two. Was it like a month? Maybe it was like a few months. They came out with like another 8 episodes. I'm like, all right, am I gonna sit here suffering watching the other half of Megamind Rules, or am I just gonna drop it? I dropped it. This is like what I said about Megamind 2. This was the worst show I've seen this year, and probably the worst show I've ever seen. It was horrible. Like it was. I don't even know why DreamWorks decided to be like, let's make a Megamind show, let's make a Megamind sequel, and then let's make it as bad. Let's make it as so bad that yeah, I don't know. DreamWorks just sucks. They like DreamWorks doesn't suck, but the stuff they released this year is either really good or incredibly mid or just trash. Like they're very hit or miss. Like I'll talk about Wild Robot later on in the stream, but the last good DreamWorks project I've seen was Last Wish in 2022. Wild Robot is finally like the new best thing I've seen since then. They gotta stop putting out like hit or miss stuff. Put out something that's gonna be a hit. Make something like great. Make a good story. Do better than Disney. You have an opportunity to do better than Disney. Take it. And then it's like sometimes they don't even do that. They don't. They don't even do it. Let me. But yeah, honestly, Megamind 2 is pretty bad. I'll get into a couple other DreamWorks projects like As This Dream Goes On as well. But that's pretty much it. And then you got Roadhouse. I kind of forgot about Roadhouse. I kind of forgot this movie existed after March. Like, I mean, it's cool to see, Jake Gyllenhaal and Conor McGregor duke it out. But otherwise, it was like, besides one to watch with my family because it's like almost like a boxing type thing, it was fine. It was a little fun. It had some like cheesy, stuff in there, some fun cheesy action. I mean, if you're into that kind of stuff, I think you'll enjoy it, especially like boxing too. Like I obviously like boxing. I used to do it, so I kind of enjoyed it. I'll put it above Beekeeper. And say what you want, that might be overrating it just a bit. I haven't rewatched it since then. I don't think I ever will. I think there is a Roadhouse 2 that's confirmed. I think so. So I'll obviously probably rewatch this again. I'll probably watch the original, as well, if that even ever ever happens. But otherwise, Roadhouse it's fun. It's cheesy. If you're into that type of stuff, with the main leads, you'll like it. And okay, hear me out on this one. Hear me out with Godzilla X Kong, because if you know me ever since March, if you know me, actually, ever since the first trailer came out, because I've been a big, like, ever since Godzilla vs. Kong came out, I've been, like, very big into the MonsterVerse and Godzilla and Kong. Ever since this first trailer came out in, December 2023, I was hyped. Like, this was my number one most anticipated film. And if you asked me before the trailer came out, I probably would have said the same thing. Obviously, when the movie came out, I loved it. Like, currently on Letterboxd, I'll pull it up right now. And this is why I don't like Letterboxd sometimes. I'll pull it up right now. Godzilla X Kong. Look at this. Look at this. I can't stand this. Can I zoom in this in? Like 2.7? It does not deserve 2.7. I'm sorry. It does not deserve 2.7. I don't care what people say. Okay. Let me just get this out of the way. This is amazing. It's going in the amazing tier. It's not a perfect movie. I don't think it's a perfect movie. And obviously since it came out, I've noticed its flaws. So I'll explain that now. Like if you watch some of the older Godzilla stuff, you watched the Showa era, you watched Heisei era, Millennial era, you watch some of the newer stuff, don't matter if it's live action or animated. You know how the action is, you know how a lot of the story and the humans are. It's pretty much almost the same every movie. Humans are always like, are not always interesting. Like, don't get me wrong, Godzilla Minus One, they did it really well. That's my favorite Godzilla and monster movie to this day. This movie, unfortunately, I had more fun with this movie than Minus One. I think Minus One is the better movie. I think everybody can agree with that. But this movie, like, I haven't lowered my rating once since I saw it. I'm sure, like, once I do, like, a proper, critical MonsterVerse marathon, my rating will probably go down a bit. But otherwise, it's not going down at all. Godzilla X Kong is amazing. It's going to stay there. Action was amazing. Visuals were amazing. And I do agree. I did see someone, like I watched a short of a 2024 ranking. I saw someone say there should have been more wide shots. I agree, because this movie didn't have many wide shots. It had a lot of it. There's a lot of shots where it was like, oh, it's almost like if you're watching human characters. Like if you're watching a regular movie, a regular shot, like a regular camera was looking at the human, right? like a regular movie shot. It's almost like that, but for monsters. And then everybody would complain, saying like, "Oh, the scale is wrong. The scale is off throughout the movie. One minute the monsters look big, one minute they look small. The scale is fine. The scale is fine. It's just the way some of it looks, like in the shots. Hollow Earth is the monster's home, so obviously they're not gonna look huge in there. You know, people really don't understand it. If you watch the movie, you sit there from beginning to end watching it, you're gonna love it. Especially paying attention to what the monsters do, not just what the humans do. Don't get me wrong, the humans aren't amazing. I think the humans are the best since Skull Island. Kong Skull Island, I mean, not the stupid Netflix anime. Kong Skull Island, they're better. They're the best since Kong Skull Island. King of the Monsters, they're pretty bad in. Godzilla vs Kong, they're a little better, just not that great still. New Empire, you're dealing with a shorter group. They're just a lot easier to follow because they're all together. The only really bad thing I could say is they still have their cheesy moments. They still have the exposition dumps. Otherwise, the humans are fine. You get that bond, you get that dynamic and chemistry with Dr. Andrews and the deaf girl. And then you got Bernie and Dan Stevens characters. The Trapper, like they're cool too. Like they're like humor characters. I think they did well. I think they all did well. Like I'll gladly see them in the third movie. Like if they're on the third movie again, I think that's awesome. But I can understand some of the complaints that this movie has. Like there's a couple action sequences I think should have been longer with Godzilla. Um, I say less exposition would have been nice. Scar King being introduced a little earlier. If they constantly add more lore to the Titan War, that should have we should at this point we should just get a movie for it by now, because the way they did the CGI monsters like Kong, where it was just him, no humans, no dialogue, him and in what is it, Suko, little Suko, great. Like their dynamic and chemistry was great throughout the entire film. Like you can really pull off a Titan War. And I think this movie showed an example of that. You can do it with no humans, no dialogue, just full on monster action like it's great. But you know, I think a lot of people, if you know me, they'll say like I overrate this movie, or you know, I'm always talking good about this movie. It deserves the love. It deserves the love. It doesn't deserve the 2.7 average that Letterbox wants to give it. It does not deserve that. But let me move on because I'll keep yapping about this the whole stream. Then you got Ted, and I thought about this show yesterday actually, and this show, a lot of people like. A lot of people are saying it's better than the films. I think it's better than the second film. I don't think it's better than the first one. This show is average. I'll rank it below. There's a couple episodes where I thought like, all right, what are we doing here? There's one episode of mockery towards Christianity or Jesus, which any show or film that does that is not gonna get a good rating for me. I don't care what it is, and you'll see that with The Boys later on. Like The Boys has that, and then you got, I get it's like a almost like a adult show, but then it almost turns into like there's like an episode, like an inappropriate episode. I'm like, all right, you know what? I get like that's the whole Ted thing, but it's like, and I'm 20 and I'm saying this. I'm like, all right, that's a bit much. Season 2 is confirmed. I don't know when it's coming out. I actually hope it comes out this year because I don't know why recently I've been in the mood to watch it again, which is weird, especially with the things I literally just mentioned. So I don't know. I think I'm probably not going to watch the movies again. So I think the show also was too short. Like 7 episodes, you could have done way more than that. And if you're someone who watches Family Guy, like I don't, because I know there's mockery in there, like Family Guy, South Park, maybe even Simpsons too. I know there's mockery in there, and I'm like, I want to avoid shows like that. Especially like older animated ones. So if you like Family Guy, like if you've seen it before, you'll probably like the show. It's probably similar. So I mean that's it. Otherwise, it's just there. And then you got Imaginary. This was pretty bad. I forget if I gave it like 1.5 or 2 stars. It was pretty bad too. I'm putting in trash because I don't remember. I can't remember like a single good thing except one of the practical effects that they use. I should probably look it up, but Blumhouse has this record of pumping out either good films, or I should say solid films, or like so bad, bottom of the barrel forgettable films. This was one of them. And there was actually some hype going into this film. Not a lot of it, but there was hype going into it. It's a unique horror story, and the execution was just very, very poor. So, I mean, I guess visuals are fine. Acting was kind of mediocre. Twists. I think there was like one twist in there. I was kind of like, all right, that's a little stupid. But and then you got the practical. I'll show it right now, honestly. Imaginary, 2024. What is it? They use some sort of practical effects, like I think on like the bear or something. Right here. They did. This is so cool. Right here. Let me do this in a different tab. This thing was so cool to see in the movie, and they barely utilized it. Like, you have the elements, you made a whole practical thing in there. It's like, and then this is barely in the movie. Like, is that a Rancor Ewok? I think so. It's like a Rancor and Ewok had a baby. Like, damn. Like, this is so cool, and it was barely utilized. Like, what do you? And then you got like the whole imaginary set. Like, that was cool. Wasn't much of it in there, but I don't know. It was so weird. Like, it sucked, man. It really like. It really just wasn't that good. It's disappointing thinking about it now. Like, if you ask me what was my disappointing films of the year, I probably wouldn't think of that. I would forget about it because it's one of the forgettable, boring Blumhouse movies that they make. Otherwise, if I can remember it, it would 100% be on there. I don't remember it as well because I think I watched it in like April or so. And then you got Invincible season 2. I actually originally gave this the same rating as season 1. I think if I had the time to rewatch it now, it would probably be lower than season 1. It's going to go in the grade tier, obviously. I think it's just as good as season 1, if not maybe a little lower. But Invincible season 2 is pretty good. I think the finale, like how they did the villain, was a little rushed. But I think everything going on with Mark, his character getting darker. Omni-Man, you can kind of see that he can slowly get his redemption. Alan the Alien was pretty cool too. Like, there are some things in there that kind of sets up season 3. It was almost like a setup season, and then the way they split it up, whereas like the first part of the season was in November, second part was in March. The amount of complaints was crazy. I mean, all the complaints I heard, like, if you couldn't deal with that, if you were someone who watched Breaking Bad season 5 when it dropped, the first half of the season came out 1 year, and then you had to wait a whole another year for the second half. So I think we're lucky we didn't have to wait a whole year. But I think for the type of episodes and the type of episodes that were included in part 2, and then the type of season it was, I don't think the wait should have been long, in my opinion. But if you're prepping season 3, I think it would have been fine. I think if you're gonna delay it that much, and then on top of that add like 2 times, 10 times better animation in the next season, especially with the story involved there, it's worth it. But it's not looking like that with the Invincible season 3 trailer. So, which sucks because then they make like a first look trailer, and the animation will look great, and then you get the season 3 trailer, or the trailer for the season, it will look bland. Like, it wouldn't look as good. But Invincible season 2 is great. Just as good as season 1, if not a little lower. Otherwise, that's it. Then you got Kung Fu Panda 4, which I'm going to put between Roadhouse and Beekeeper. It's average. And if actually my most disappointed film this year, this has to be in my top 5. This was this film and then Kingdom of the Apes, I was always switching like every other day. Okay, is this film in my top three most anticipated of the year, or is this one? Like one day will be Kung Fu Panda 4, one day will be Kingdom of the Apes. It's now it's Kingdom of the Apes, or was Kingdom of the Apes, I should say. This was top five with Sonic 3, and I'll talk about Sonic 3 later. Where's Sonic 3? Right here, pretty good. Man, this is. I'm trying to think. Like, was there another like really disappointing movie I watched this year? I mean, Craven was one of them. Like that was pretty disappointing. Joker 2, Despicable Me 4, Argyle. There's some disappointments there. Is like another one? Not really. No. Nah. Yeah, no. It's probably mainly like those four. Kung Fu Panda 4 probably being number one, or close to number one. Like it was pretty disappointing because the trilogy. I love the trilogy. The first and third movie I gave like 4 stars. Second movie I gave 4.5. Second movie's amazing, by the way. If you haven't watched the trilogy, watch it. Either they should have ended it off with the trilogy, never went back to this franchise, or they should have just done a better story with the fourth movie. Like, don't get me wrong, I think the fourth movie has the best animation out of all four films. And I've seen people say that the action is probably the same too. I don't think the action's the best. I think that's still the second one. Actually, is it the first or second one I said? I think the second one. But I have my like list somewhere. I'm not gonna pull it up right now because I don't want to prolong this. But yeah, animation was probably the best out of all four films. Action was good. I don't think it was the best. I think the second one still gets that, but instead of having Poe as the what is it, Kung Fu Warrior or something, it's like Shin now, Aquafina, like whatever they thought of out of all the ideas they thought of, I felt like this is probably like the worst one they picked. I'm not even joking about that, by the way. I felt like this was like the worst one they picked. And that's saying something because I'm saying something because this is like 3 stars. And perhaps I'm glazing it because it's Kung Fu Panda 4. But it was pretty bad. I'm sorry. It was one of the most, if not the most disappointing film I've seen this year. Gotta try to get a 3-player KO streak on the map. Of course you are. With Black Panther? Dang. Dude, if I almost got it multiple times and I failed each time, I would be so pissed. Like, I would be so disappointed. But yeah, Kung Fu Panda 4 is going to go there. It's going to be in this list. I'm actually going to open up my 2024 ranking right here. Because I want to make sure I do this right as well. I don't want to make sure I get something wrong. I don't want to spoil much. Okay. Cool. I did it. Did it fine. Monkey Man. This was solid. I kind of forgot about it, honestly. It's either top of average or solid. I might keep it solid. This was kind of like the movie where, like, I saw the trailer, it looked good, I'll watch when it's on streaming, and then I'll forget about it, like, after I watched it. Either I'll never look back on it again, or I'll, remember it for something like this. And, yeah, it's hard for me to rank this one. I kind of forgot about it. I gave it 3.5. Good action, good visuals. It kind of knew it wanted to be like a John Wick copy. So that's kind of like what it was. I think, yeah, it's directed by Dave Patel. It was kind of like his first directorial debut. There was definitely some religious morals in there. I think not for Christianity or anything. Because what is it, Islam or something? Something like that. I'm assuming like if you're into that or you follow that, you would probably like it more than me. Obviously, I'm Christian. I don't follow that. Well, I should say I'm a follower of Christ. At least try to be. So I don't follow that. But otherwise, action was great. Visuals was great. Acting was actually pretty solid too. The revenge story, like it was there. I personally enjoy all 4 John Wick's movies more. Like, I enjoyed them more. I don't know about the Continental show. I never watched it. I might watch it this year. But yeah, Monkey Man was solid. that's pretty much it. Hold on, give me 1 second, guys. All right. Sorry about that, guys. All right. Knuckles is next. Wonderful timing. Also, welcome, Shushko. How you doing today? Knuckles. Uh, what Okay. I know how people feel about Ted. Perhaps maybe I'll rewatch it when the next season comes out. I have no clue if that's gonna be this year, next year. They really should pump these out more often. Like this should be like a yearly thing at this point. Hate me if you want. Disagree with me if you want. I like Knuckles more than Ted. Not by much though. Knuckles was pretty bad on its own. Actually, no, wait. Okay, in my Sonic video. Okay, this is what I mean. This is what I mean. I haven't rewatched Knuckles, and I probably don't plan to. But when I rewatched it, I'm sure I overrated it because I gave it like 3 stars. It was like middle of the road. I gave it like I remember the percentage was like 65. I think Ted's was like 63. And then obviously my Sonic ranking video. I know Sonic 1 when I rewatched it, it was lower. I brought it down to 2.5. Sonic 2 I think became 3. And then Sonic 3 was 3.5. So the Knuckles one, I think, did I lower it more? You know what? Let's take a D trip, everybody. Let's go to my serialized. Let's find out if I lowered it more. Here we go. Let's do this on stream. Where's my 2024 list? No, I did not lower it more. Okay. That's actually, I'll keep that tab open. Alright. Did not lower it more. But yeah, no, Knuckles was pretty bad. The whole show should be revolved around Knuckles, yet half the show, or the majority of it, focuses on Wade, which is like one of the human characters you see in the first 3 films. Mainly the first 2. Third one, he had like a cameo. And it's almost like Knuckles training Wade for like a bowling tournament or something stupid like that. Like, out of all things you could do with Knuckles, a Knuckles show, you make it, the main focus, the main idea you thought of was to have the focus on one of the human characters. You don't do something like that. You do not do something like that. And that gets me nervous because I know the voice actors for Shadow and Knuckles. I can't say Knuckles' voice actor's name. I always can never pronounce it, but I know Keanu Reeves and Knuckles' voice actor. They've talked about wanting to make a Knuckles and Shadow show. Which, I mean, seeing Sonic 3, they did a good job of not utilizing the human characters much. Because Sonic 2 and Knuckles, and the first one too, that was a huge problem. Sonic 3 wasn't as much. Maybe the Monsterverse should take some notes too with how they utilize human characters. But yeah, I mean, if they make a Knuckles and Shadow show or they just make a Shadow show, it better be just, or like 80-90% of the show is just, the characters, not the human characters. That's what they gotta fix. So if I changed my rating, it would probably be in between Argo and Echo. Because I haven't changed my rating, it's gonna be between Beekeeper and Tet. But if I did rewatch it before Sonic 3, which I probably should have saved it for then, or if I rewatch it one day, like as if like another Sonic show comes out before Sonic 4, or maybe I watch it before Sonic 4, it'll probably be in mid. But yeah, I don't plan on touching the show, rewatching it for a long time, so you probably won't see me talking about it for at least another couple of years. I know eventually I'll do like a Sonic marathon where I'm actually, watching the shows. Because if, when I did my Sonic, when I did the video talking about Sonic 3 and all the other stuff, I kind of, I said every in the title and I missed like 80% of the shows. So, and everybody got mad at me in the comments. So, 2027, I won't do that. So, and we got Bad Batch Season 3. This was great. I'm going to put it below Invincible Season 2 in the great tier. Which is very surprising. Because the first two seasons, like if you told me, like the first season, I would say is around where Monkey Man is. Second season's around where Roadhouse is. Like the first two seasons are around solid and average. I'll probably even put in average. The third season is great. Third season is great. If I did like the whole show, like I said, a ranking, I'll put in solid. But season 3 was great. I think season 1 and 2 have big standout episodes and then also pretty bad mid episodes. As in season 3, they take a lot of safe routes, so most of the episodes are in the solid area. Like a lot of the episodes I gave were either like 4 stars or 3.5. Like I don't think I gave anything lower than a 3.5 this season. I don't think I gave anything higher than a 4 except the finale. I would probably have to check, but I think I've been switching between tabs a bit too much. Bad Batch is great. Great final season. They don't explore anything with tech after season 2, which is kind of expected. So they're not like, oh yeah, we bring tech back because in Star Wars we bring every character back to life. So yeah, I guess tech is not alive anymore. But it's almost like with Rex in the show, with Wolf in the show, with Cody in there, it's almost like they could have just set up like a whole different spin-off on its own too. Because this is almost like what I talked about before with Echo. It's a spin-off of characters. It's a spin-off of characters that are side characters in the show. Like Echo is a side character in Echo. I'm sorry, that makes no sense. Echo or Maya Hawk. Not Maya Hawk. Did I just say a different? I'm not. I'll stop talking. I think I'm going a little delusional. Bad Batch season 3 is great. I think if you look at it as like this show was made, it's a spin-off to side characters in a different show, and I think this show does a better example of that, at how they can use it and develop them, than something like Echo or Agatha. And I haven't even watched Agatha because I'm not watching that right now. Maybe I'll watch it later this year, next year, but I'm not watching Agatha. Otherwise, Bad Batch Season 3 was great. And this is where we get the Tales of the Empire, because I watched this 2 days after the finale. I don't know how we went from the Bad Batch Season 3 finale, one of the best finales I've seen in Star Wars, one of the best, actually the best episode of the show, made the show turn around for me in a bit, to probably one of the worst Star Wars shows I've ever seen. Like if you pull out, I'm I'm putting it in average, by the way. I'll rant about that show soon. If I pull out my Star Wars shows ranking, this is pretty much in the bottom three. The only thing that's gonna beat it is Acolyte now, obviously, because that was pretty bad. Star Wars Visions is gonna beat it to be worse because I haven't really been a fan of that. But with season three season three on the way, maybe it'll be better. But Tales of the Empire, I mean, I know a lot of people liked it. A lot of people thought it was okay. I thought it was very disappointing. Wait till I get to Acolyte. Wait till I get to Acolyte, because Acolyte is pretty bad on its own, and I wish I could rate it lower too. Because if you remember, I gave it like 1.5, and with a lot of the stuff that came out this year, it's probably not gonna be bottom five as much as it deserves to be. But Tales of the Empire was disappointing. Tales of the Rebellion season 3. Yeah, Tales of the Rebellion. We should get Star Wars Resistance season 3. No wait. I'm stupid. I'm not. No, I haven't even watched Resistance. Maybe I'll watch it one day, because I know one day I want to do a Star Wars tier list ranking. So maybe one day I'll do it. Tales of the Empire was disappointing, because you're focusing on two characters that don't really. One of them's a Night Sister, for crying out loud. Barely worked for the Empire. And then you got Barriss Offee, which is a story you want to see. Obviously, the one with, what's her face from Ahsoka? Morgan Elsmith? Elsmith. Yeah, Morgan Elsmith. Yeah, Tom, get out of here with that Acolyte's good, bad take. Come on, Tom. You watch anime and Transformers. Yeah, I don't even know if your takes are that good. Morgan Elsmith from Ahsoka. We should have got this origin before Ahsoka came out. If you really wanted to do something with Morgan Elsmith, this should have came out before Ahsoka, because now in Ahsoka season 1, you just killed her off. She's dead. She's gone. She had her cameo in Mando season 2. They killed her off in Ahsoka season 1, and now all of a sudden we get a 3-episode shorts in Tales of the Empire. When the character's dead, she's gone. We're never gonna see her again. Why do we do that? We could have focused on Grand Inquisitor, Palpatine, Vader, for crying out loud. We could have gotten Thrawn. Thrawn would have been so much better, because he's pretty much going to be the main villain of the whole Mandoverse, the whole Heir of the Empire. But instead we get Morgan Elsmith, which character is not even in alive anymore. No. Yeah, there's no connection even after they're dead. They're dead. I didn't care for them at all while watching Ahsoka anyways. If you really wanted me to have care, put in flashbacks in Ahsoka. Instead of the stupid episode 3 that we got, with Ahsoka in a jumpsuit flying on a ship, put in a Morgan Elsmith origin or something, or flashbacks throughout. We understand why she's doing what she's doing with Thrawn. We understand her hatred towards Ahsoka. Don't get me wrong, Mando season 2 is really good. That episode she was in was really good. But there was like no explanation there. I don't know what Dave Filoni's doing right now, but these past couple years, he has not been cooking at all. Book of Boba Fett, Mando season 3, Ahsoka season 1, Tales of the Empire, and since he's technically worked on Acolyte 2, what are we doing here? This is not. It's not great, and don't get me started with Barriss Offee, because, you know what? Say what you want to say. If we should have probably got like Tales of the Jedi season 2 or something like that with her in it, because this was kind of a waste of an Empire thing, because episode 4 she becomes an Inquisitor. That was a good episode, actually. I'll be honest. Like episode 4, I think, was like when she became an Inquisitor. That was like the one good and only good episode of the show. And it was like, bro's going. I know, I'm going off. It's like, oh my gosh, I gotta drink water. And this is no script. This is from the top of my head. This is like, if I could, I would probably rate it lower than 10. But I think I have it so it's higher. The Barriss Offee stuff sucked. I'm going to be honest. It was very disappointing. The whole thing is that in Clone Wars, she portrays the Jedi. I'm assuming because of viewpoints or something. I actually quite don't remember. And then Tales of the Empire, episode 4, boom, she becomes an Inquisitor. Darth Vader gets like a 2-second cameo because that's literally all they tease in the show, and then he's there for 2 seconds. And then episode 5 and 6, she's going against that. What was the point of keeping her in the show if she's going against the whole thing of her turning against the Jedi, becoming an Inquisitor, hunting down the Jedi? You were against that in the Clone Wars. That was a great story on its own. And Tales of the Empire, they almost bring that in, and then, oh, never mind. Never mind. She'll just go against that now. That worked for Tales of the Jedi Season 2, not Tales of the Empire. But yeah, I mean, if you really want to do Tales of the Empire, do a story with, like, Thrawn and Palpatine, or something like that. Like, do something. Like, Thrawn 100%, because he's supposed to be the main villain of the Mandoverse. We barely got him. And then, with the stuff he got, with the screen time he got in Ahsoka, it was kind of mid. I mean, not mid. It was alright. You know, I mean, he was good. I won't lie. I like the voice actor returning from Rebels. It was good. But right now, there's not really a good setup going for Heir of the Empire. Like, Ahsoka Season 2 is in development. Mando and Grogu's already finished filming. Other than that, I don't even know what they're doing. I even watched Skeleton Crew. I think Skeleton Crew would have probably been the second best Star Wars project, obviously, because, you know, Bad Batch Season 3 would have been number 1. Skeleton Crew I should have watched. If some of you have seen Skeleton Crew, let me know how it is, because I've heard it was good. I'm pretty certain it was good, like, from what I've heard from people. Otherwise, that's pretty much it. I want to show where it is. Tales of the Republic, like stories from clones perspective, or the corruption in the Senate. Yeah, I think honestly, make Tales of the Republic or Tales of, yeah, something like that, and then maybe kind of like have a continuation of Bad Batch with like Rex, Cody, Wolf. I mean, if you can think of a good story. If not, probably do something like within the Clone Wars, expanding them more. But that's it. I'm done ranting about Tales of the Empire. It's gonna take up the whole stream. like when I was talking good about this movie, Godzilla X Kong, it's gonna take up the whole stream. Let's move on. Roast of Tom Brady. I gave it 3 stars. I'll put it like at the end of average. There was definitely some funny moments. There was just some unfunny stuff in there. I didn't watch the full thing. I watched like most of it or part of it. So, yeah, I mean, I'm sure. Like, Shuzuko, I think you would like it. I actually don't know if you've watched it or not, but I think you would like it more than me. I mean, Tom Brady's cool. He's the GOAT. He's, like, definitely the best quarterback of all time in the NFL, but it was alright. It was alright. It was nothing, like, amazing. And then now we got Kingdom of the Apes. Oof. I don't recall if I had it over Invincible Season 2 or not. So, yeah, Nikki Glaser, that was the best part of the roast of Tom Brady. Everything with her stuff, like, that was the best part of the roast. That's like the number one thing I remember when thinking about it. And no, Tom, I'm not a walk-in now. Don't say that. Cyberpunk I watched last year. I think just to get into the feel of how like some of those anime shows work. And then Terminator Zero was alright. I'll definitely talk about that when I get up to it. Maybe that's another show I gotta rewatch before season 2, but yeah, I'll think about it. Marvel Rivals I'll do after when I'm done with the ranking, if I have enough time. Kingdom of the Apes, I think, well, it's gonna be great. It's either below Invincible or it's above. And there's a lot of people. I'll even go to Letterboxd right now. There are so many people underrating this film, in my opinion, at least. Like, this film should not be a 3.3. It should not be. Like, look at the trilogy right here. I'll show you. Rise, you got Rise, which is like a 3.6. I think War is a 3.7. Dawn is what, a 3.8? Yeah. Kingdom should have been around there. Maybe not as high. Maybe not as high. I think it's the weakest out of the 4. It's not bad by any means. Like, look, I literally gave it a 4. But it should not be like, at the very least, it should be like a 3.5 or something. Like, it should not be a 3.3. And I don't even know why it is. The only issues I can think of is that maybe, you know, it's a long movie. Isn't it like 2.5 hours? Yeah, it's long. It's like almost 2.5 hours. Like, it was pretty long. And then you don't get introduced to Proxima Caesar until like an hour in. So like those two reasons I can already think of from the top of my head. CGI, visuals, story. Honestly, I thought was good too. I think Proxima Caesar. And call this a hot take because I got no idea how they're gonna do the rest of the Kingdom trilogy. I think Proxima Caesar should have been the villain for the trilogy, or at least he should have stayed alive for the next movie. Like, I don't think. I think killing him off in this movie, and you technically don't really see a body. He kind of just falls into the ocean after being attacked by like what Falcons, Hawks, or something. Falcons or Hawks, whatever. So you don't really see a body. So I mean, hopefully they bring him back. I'm honestly not sure. I would hate for his character to go out like that. I think he was great. He was definitely one of the best parts of the movie for sure. Cyberpunk made you cybercry. That's crazy. That's definitely a show I should have watched with like VidAngel or something. Like any shows like that show had so much nudity. I can't watch this. That's probably why I rated it lower than others, because like any show like that, I can't sit there. Like, I hate that, you know. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Kingdom of the Apes was pretty good. Definitely, I would say one of the more underrated films of the year. Godzilla and Kingdom of the Apes were definitely one of the more underrated films of the year. Of course, both of them have monkeys in it too. And then you got Quiet on Set. This was like a documentary about, you know, evil stuff going behind Nickelodeon. I obviously don't like those evil stuff. Like, that's evil. I mean, there's nothing really much I could say about it. First four episodes talking about it, they're pretty dark. Fifth episode was kind of just, you know, whatever. Didn't really need it. I'll put it in solid. Probably at like the end of solid. I never really watched many Nickelodeon shows as a kid. Like, I never watched SpongeBob. Still haven't. I mean, I've seen clips and stuff. It seems funny. Maybe I'll watch it this year because, not the whole show, but like, maybe I'll watch some of it this year because of the movie coming out. And then you got Avatar. I literally watched last year. I watched that, and then the Netflix show, which I'll get up to. Where's the Netflix show right here? I love Avatar. Like, it's probably like top 3 show of all time to me. Probably top 2 because Office I haven't seen in years. But enough yapping. Quiet on Set's on solid. Tires, probably going at the end of average. I don't think it's mid. I think it's good. Again, it's like Ted. It has the potential to be good. It has the potential to be very good, actually. Like a really good comedy show. And it's just too short. They take a safe route by having a few episodes in there. I think this one only had like 6. I think Ted had 7. And I think Ted had longer run times. This did not have longer run times at all. It was kind of fun. There's some episodes where it's like, alright, this is kind of boring. Not as funny as I thought. And then there were some episodes that I'm like, alright, that's actually pretty good. That's pretty funny, pretty solid. But the majority of it was kind of average. I know they're making a season 2. So if you do a season 2, just, you know, have more episodes, I guess. Make it more interesting. Otherwise, it's average. Again, it's like one of those films I watch where it's like, alright, I'm just going to watch it because, you know, I just want to put more stuff onto this list. And everybody's favorite movie of the year, Madam Web. Call this a hot take if you will. I think Madam Web is like a top 5 film of the year. Sony cooked with Madam Web. They cooked with this film. I think it should have got nominated at the Golden Globes. I think it should get nominated at the Oscars. This film, honestly, is probably the most underrated film of the year, in my opinion. Storytelling is amazing. Visuals is the best I've ever seen in the film. Characters and the acting is probably one of the best I've seen in film too. Pacing was pretty well done. Writing was very good. Like, some very serious writing. Like, I mean, wow. I was at like the edge of my seat, tearing up. Like, that was, oh my, I'm gonna tear up about talking about this movie now. Madam Web is gonna be in the top 5 of the year. I'm kidding. You know, honestly, if you want me to be serious, it's actually in between these two, because Megamind Rules is almost outside of the bottom five, which is weird because this show is pretty bad on its own. Banger lines. Let's read it. He was in the Amazon with my mom when she was researching spiders just before she died. You know what? That almost made me cry. I remember I was watching it in June. And Madam Web, you know, watching this cinematic masterpiece right here. I was watching it and I'm like, wow. Like I started tearing up. Like the final battle, seeing Cindy Sweeney, and I'm kidding. No, that's too far. That's too far. Bottom five. Shogun. Literally one of the best things I've seen this year. Uh Really good. Pretty much like if you watch Japan, it's like Game of Thrones but in Japanese. It's pretty good. Do I want to give it top 5? I can already tell a few things on top of my head that are going to be in the top 5 anyways. Right now, I'll put it there only because it was really good. Great story, great characters, amazing action, which is there wasn't really much of it, but it was good. Acting was phenomenal. Visuals was phenomenal. The Golden Globes awards that they were getting, it was great. This might move down to amazing because again, it's not 5 stars or anything. And there's obviously I can already tell like a few things on here are gonna be higher. So actually no, it's gonna be amazing. Um, Very good show. Um, Call me a baby all you want. There's a couple nudity scenes in there. Obviously not into that stuff, but you know whatever. That didn't really affect the rating much. There was a couple slow episodes, but most of it was phenomenal. I think the final 2 episodes were the best of the show. Episode 3 was like underrated. Very good show. I'm excited for season 2. I think the show's gonna get season 2 and 3, which is crazy because the show only covered the whole book, and the book, you know, never got like a second book or anything. So, as long as the story is as good as the first season, in the next 2 seasons or even better, I think this show would be one of the greatest of all time. And I never watched Game of Thrones. I honestly don't have an interest of watching Game of Thrones right now. It's not really a show I want to watch. Same for House of Dragon, like any of that stuff. It hasn't been on my list to watch. Um, let's say Shogun finishes within the next 5 years or so. I'm just making this up from the top of my head. And if it's so good, I'm like, you know what, Game of Thrones. And if I somehow haven't even watched Game of Thrones by then, maybe I'll give it a try because I know House of Dragon is still going on. I don't know why I'm thinking about Rings of Power. That's weird. I don't even know why I'm thinking about it. Garfield is next, and this movie was, I will not lie to you, it was fun. Call me lame, say my opinions are trash, I don't care. This was a lot of fun. I won't lie. It's a little not it wasn't okay, it was a little cheesy. It was definitely took the safe route. It made a good amount of money back. I can definitely see a sequel happening. I did give it a pretty decent rating. I think I gave it like 3.5. I think it's higher than all of these actually, like right here. So for right now, I'll put it in solid. Um, that's definitely gonna be. I know a lot of people disagree with this because I think a lot of people will say, you know, it's like mid, it's average. I for sure think it's better than Kung Fu Panda 4. I don't care what people say. It's better than Kung Fu Panda 4. Um, Say what you want about it being higher than Monkey Man, Quiet on Set, Roadhouse. I don't really care. Garfield, I liked. Chris Pratt actually wasn't really horrible in it. I mean, you can kind of tell it's Chris Pratt. You know, it's not like Mario where he actually tries to do something. Garfield's pretty much like Chris Pratt. You can tell it's Chris Pratt. Samuel L. Jackson there was cool. Animation was solid. Story was, again, it was a bit generic, but it was fun. If it wasn't fun, if it was boring, it would definitely be lower. I didn't think it was boring. And out of all 3 films I watched like the 2 Billy Murphy live action stuff, and then I watched this one. I thought it was probably the best out of all of them, but I'm sure my opinion might change later on. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Acolyte is the next one. I don't think this needs Mitch. I don't think this needs. I don't think this needs much explaining. You know, going along with it and stuff. Uh, you know, I think Acolyte deserves its own list because if I'm not making this list for Acolyte, it's gonna be here or like above Lift, and it's pretty bad on its own. I don't care if people give it 3 stars or higher than 3 stars. This was the worst Star Wars show to come out this year, and a bottom 5 TV show to come out this year. Not the worst TV show to come out this year, but like when I say bottom 5 TV show, I mean it. Probably bottom 3 if I could give it that. You know what? Where is it? Bottom 2. Bottom 2. Tom saying Acolyte's peak, but yeah. You know what? You know what? Let me do this. You know what I'll do? Dropped due to 90% of Star Wars being mid, and I haven't got the time. But I did enjoy the first 2 episodes, though, so I'm rating it a solid 3. You saw 3 episodes, ew, and then you dropped the show. And you're saying it's peak. If it's peak, you would have finished the entire thing, and you did not do that, Tom. Sorry, I had to. For the sake of the stream. In reality, like let me look at my ranking real quick. Let me look at my review because I actually forgot the percentage. 33. So I'm pretty certain that is here. If I'm not making this list, it's in the trash. The only thing I could say about it that saves it from, because bottom 5 isn't just both bottom 5 movies and shows. It's just bottom 5 of the year, so it could be anything. Acolytes I gave like a 1.5, so it technically wouldn't be bottom 5. If I could, I would give it bottom 5, but I don't think it is. Right? Is it? Wait. No. I gave like 5 different things like half a star this year, so. And there's a few short shows I forgot. Not short shows, like regular shorts. I mean, they would be higher, but I just didn't include them on the list. Alright, CJ, man. Thank you for standing by for a bit. Hopefully I see you later. In reality, Acolyte would be in the trash. The only thing that kind of saves it is that lightsaber duel in episode 5. Otherwise, nothing else is good. Everything else is pretty bad about it. Like 2 episodes of the show gave like half a star. The highest episode I gave this show was like a 3 stars. And everything else kind of averaged from like 2 or lower. Mainly 1.5 areas, so obviously it became 1.5. I think this show, just for what it's trying to stand for, what the writers know what they're trying to do, also technically breaking canon as well, it's getting its own tier. Because there's no way you're going to ruin Anakin's legacy like that with the Acolyte. I'm sorry. There's no way you are. And the show says it's canon. I don't consider it canon. It's bad, man. It's really bad. I don't consider it canon. Because it takes place like 200 years before Phantom Menace. It does nothing good for the canon of the Star Wars universe, so it's I don't just ignore it. Smiley Friends Season 2. I started watching this show this year. I think I also started watching Over the Garden Wall as well. Because I kind of want to watch like more like shorter shows around this point. Because I'm like, alright, I've been watching, well, I haven't really been watching big shows. The only other big show I would be watching is either rewatching Clone Wars or watching Avatar for the first time. But this is also for like my every TV show ranked list on Serialized. Why I watched the show, and of course, good timing. Season 2 came out in 2024. Over the Garden Wall did get a tribute, but again, I'm not including any shorts on here. So, Smiley Friends is gonna go on the top of solid. This is for season 2 only, not season 1. I think one of the episodes held it back from great. Probably, honestly, some of the humor was a little stupid. Most of it was fun. Like, it was pretty funny. Again, you got a lot of these shows that'll either do something almost demonic in a way. I'm not gonna say the show's demonic. It's not demonic. Like, You'll get like one episode in season one and then one episode this season that almost feels that way. Call me crazy. I mean, I don't think I'm crazy. I think I'm right. Not saying the show is demonic by any means. I think, when the season three happens, I would expect, an episode like how, yeah, like if you watch the show, you would understand what I'm talking about. But this show for me is solid. I think if it didn't include that type of episode or those episodes, it would be great for sure. And as much as the humor is up there, I think I can deal with it, and I think it's pretty funny. I think it's pretty funny. Avatar Netflix is next. This is one of them I really wanted to talk about, and call this a hot take if you will. This show did not start off great, and Avatar: Last Airbender, the animated, took me from May to July. Took me 3 months to finish. I did like one season each month. I did season 1 in May, season 2 June, season 3 July. And then I binged the Netflix show in July as well. Avatar: The Last Airbender, I think I originally gave like 4.5. I raised it up to 5 as like top 3 show right now for me of all time. Might stick like that forever. We'll see. And then going from that to this, and I was also trying to make sure actually, wait. Going from the animated show to this was a big drop. And then I'm also kind of comparing it to like season one, because a lot of the time when people make these live action to or animated to live action, either it's a film or a show. Yeah, it took me to 2024 to watch it. It's amazing. But then you got like Dustin and Mo in chat saying Avatar's mid. It's not mid, it's good. Tom, Acolyte's mid. Just stop talking about it. It's trash. Avatar Netflix. It started off pretty bad. And then once you got to, I think, the Masks episode, which is probably like one of the best episodes of season one in the animated, it started to get good. I don't think it was as good as the animated one, obviously. But I think episode 6, 7, 8 kind of picked up the show at the end, especially 6 in the finale. Like, those are pretty good. Sorry, guys. The rest of it was either pretty mid or pretty average. To me, it's going in average. It's going at the end. For right now, I think... Firstly, I really want to rank it higher than these two. I think it's better than these two, or at least better than Tires. Percentage-wise, it's not like that right now. So right now, it's at the bottom of average. That's pretty much it. There's some things that they changed from animated to live action. There's some things they didn't even include. And I think the main fault of that is trying to include so much in only 8 episodes, where it comes very convoluted. And again, I think the acting has a lot of work to do. A lot of the episodes felt very green screeny, which is something you can expect from like a Netflix show nowadays, or streaming service nowadays, or something dealing with a big IP. You'll get that. And then Avatar is pretty much, unfortunately, like that. Animated Avatar is one of the best shows I've seen of all time. Top 3. Netflix, not so much. I think if they improve on the things if they improve on the flaws that season 1 had in season 2 and season 3, this show could really turn around, probably being solid, but right now it's an average. I will rewatch this season, by the way, when the next season comes out. I'm pretty certain it's going to come out in 2026. I wouldn't be surprised. But if they can really sit there and put more effort into it, and just do everything they did in the first season like 10 times better, this show can really turn around. But yeah, Avatar season 1, the Netflix live action, it's going in Avatar. And Legend of Korra, I am going to watch at some point this year. I'm thinking of watching it in like September. So like how I did Avatar this year, I did like one season a month. I think Legend of Korra, I'll do that. So like one season in September, October, November, December, pretty much like that. And then, which is good because in January of 2026, so a whole year from now, they're releasing a Avatar theatrical movie, an animated movie, obviously, good. And yeah, I'm pretty much preparing myself for that. And then in January I'll probably rewatch like my favorite episodes for Avatar, or at least like the finale of Sozin's Comment. Otherwise, that's it. I'll obviously rewatch the Netflix season 1 before season 2, unless I just wanna wait until season 3. But I have no idea. Solo Leveling probably mid because Tom recommended me since peak. Saving Bikini Bottom is pretty much bottom 5. I think it's better than Madam Web. It's so weird because Megamind Rules is so bad. I actually think these films have more effort into it than Megamind Rules, yet I put it higher for some reason. Alright, you know what? Let me look up Solo Leveling then, because now G-Man's telling me to watch it. It's the definition of peak. I don't think so. And I remember I was looking up Tokyo, some Tokyo show. Oh, it came out this year. Oh, it's still running. It premiered earlier this year. Did it have a break or something? Dang. It had a break since March, and now we gotta. I'm assuming, is this like a second season, or is this like a new episodes? I have no idea. But imagine waiting that long, and then people complain about Invincible. That's crazy. That's crazy. Solo: A Star Wars Story is 2018. Oh, Solo Leveling. Anime is mid. I can kind of agree with that. I think a lot of the stuff Tom watches is pretty mid, if you ask me, especially like his takes. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's so weird because the bottom 5 is pretty much gonna fill out already, and we're probably halfway through. We're already like 4 things down. I have a feeling I have a feeling bottom 5 might have to switch to bottom 10 or something, but I have no idea. We'll see how it goes on. Saving Bikini Bottom was pretty bad. And it did not help at all because I've only seen one SpongeBob movie. I was supposed to see the other 2. I never did. I never watched the show, obviously, but that might change later this year. So jumping from the 2004 movie, which I think was awesome, I think it was a lot of fun, to this was honestly horrible. Because if you gave me the 2004 movie right now, it would be like amazing or it'd be great. This is bottom 5. Horrible. Okay, second season. Because I think Jujutsu Kaisen is like that. Jujutsu Kaisen, I think one of the Dragon Ball shows on there too is like that too. Where it's like, instead of it being season 1 and then has a certain amount and season 2 is a certain amount, like most shows, it's like, it's just all the episodes are just a 1, which is pretty weird. You can save this bottom because you're mid for saying Solo Leveling is mid. Oh my gosh. That's not even a burn. That's not even a good burn. It's quiet. And then you got Cape Crusader. Have I watched a Batman show before besides the Penguin? Okay, well, Penguin I watched after. I don't think I've watched a Batman show before Cape Crusader. No, but I've seen like the majority of the Batman films. I haven't seen Adam West, obviously, but I've seen the Keaton trilogy. I've seen Kelmer. I've seen the Bale trilogy. I've seen Ben Affleck and his DCU stuff. I've seen Robert Pattinson. I've seen George Clooney. Shows, I don't think I've seen many shows besides Cape Crusader and the Penguin. At least not something I can remember from the top of my head. I don't think so. Firstly, Cape Crusader is going to go in between Smiley Friends and Garfield. In solid. It was a solid show. There's obviously noticeable flaws in there. It's not really a Batman show I want to look back on. I probably overrated it just a hair. Like, if I could go back and lower my rating, I probably would. It would probably either be here or in between Garfield and Monkey Man. Like, I think it's a slight. Either I slightly overrated it or the majority of people who watched it slightly overrated it. Animation was very boring. It's almost like if you watch Invincible. No, I'm kidding. Is that SpongeBob in bottom 5? Yeah. The Netflix Saving Bikini Bottom movies in bottom 5. It was pretty bad. Sad because it was like the second SpongeBob movie I've seen. But I don't know. It was bad, unfortunately. Which sucks because, I don't watch SpongeBob. Again, maybe this year, even though I've said it like 4 other times already, maybe that'll change, but that's pretty much like Cape Crusader was weird. That was a weird one. The idea of it being in like, what is it, like 1930s, 40s was cool. Um, but it almost doesn't feel like a continuation after each episode. And if you know what I'm talking about, it's weird. I'm not huge on the Batman we get right now. Bruce Wayne, I feel like is honestly the Bruce Wayne we get. I feel like is slightly better than Batman, and we barely get that. I do like how this show digs into lesser known villains. You know, because we see Clayface in here. Um, we get a female Penguin. Catwoman's in there. We get Joker in the end credit scene. Then there's a few other villains I can't remember because they're very forgettable, but or on at least not well known, but they're in there. And I'm pretty sure Matt Reeves and J.J. Abrams both produced this show, or at least were behind this show, which is sad because 2022's Batman was great. Penguin is excellent. I think Penguin is slightly lower than Batman, but we'll get to that when we get to that. I'll gladly talk about the Penguin all day. When you get to Cape Crusader, I mean, it's Elseworld. This is like its own thing. This is kind of a weird one, honestly. Yeah, 2024 movie. Creature Commandos, no. If I watched it, it would be on this list. Same for Skeleton Crew. Like, those are the two I haven't watched. Creature Commandos, I might see before Superman. Skeleton Crew, I just didn't have the time to watch, unfortunately. Which I wish I did, because I heard that was good. Of course you got an ad for the Penguin. Like, actually great timing. YouTube Premium is crazy. And I'm pretty sure I still make money with when you guys use YouTube Premium. That's it for Kid Crusader. I got nothing else to talk about. Deadpool 3, gonna go in great. It's gonna go above Kingdom of the Apes. I'm not sure if it's gonna be at the top of great though. We'll see when the rest of the list continues. I mean, obviously, this was probably one of the best films I've seen this year. Probably in my top 15. Like, if you're combining all the 2024 films and shows, it's probably, like, in the top 15. I think it's top 10. But it was really good. It was a lot of fun. Great team up. Team up makes sense. Kind of sets up more X-Men in the universe, which is great. I did the whole... And this is what I regret. Because in May through August, I did a whole marathon watching all the X-Men movies, including New Mutants and Once Upon a Deadpool. Like, I did a whole marathon watching all of them. And then I also watched Deadpool 3. Deadpool 3 is probably, like, top 2 best X-Men film I've seen. Probably maybe top 3. And I didn't do a watching and ranking video for it. Like, that would have been perfect. Because it's my first time watching them, too. It's like I didn't think of it until after everything was done, which sucked. I did watch the X-Men animated show, though, from the 90s. That show was good. Alright, if I had to rate it, it would probably be, like, in between here. And then 97, which we'll get up to. Obviously, I'll talk about that more. I'll get up to that later on. I'm excited to talk about that. That's great. But 97 was probably one of my most anticipated shows of the year. The amount of times I watched the trailers for 97 was crazy. Favorite X-Men is Nightcrawler and Gambit. My favorite's Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler, like, literally, if you ask Marvel Spaceman, he'll be like, oh yeah, Evan's Nightcrawler. Like, literally. Nightcrawler's peak. He better be added to Marvel Rivals. That's it. I want to see, like, a cross emote, like, if it gets added. That'd be so cool. But yeah, Deadpool 3 is in the great tier. Honestly, after this, if I still have the 2023 ranking, I could probably show it to you guys, because that was a video I was supposed to do earlier this year, not earlier this year, January 2024, and never did it because I'm stupid. But that's it. Tales of TMNT, I think, is in between Smiley Friends and Cape Crusader. Yeah, I think this was literally just slightly better than Cape Crusader. I remember the rating was like 1% higher. Um, Probably like Cape Crusader. Maybe I overrated just a hair. But other than that, of course, we got ad blockers now. Ad blockers, YouTube Premium. Bro, I could be getting money, and we got ad blockers in here. That's great. Tales of TMNT was alright. Definitely not as good as the first film. It definitely had a step down. There was like 2 arcs that went on, 12 episodes. First arc was solid. Second arc could have been so much better. I think it's good to be. I think it's good where it's at. Solid. Season two. If I had to assume it should come out this year, I don't know why it wouldn't, because the movie for this comes out in 2026. I'm probably not gonna rewatch season one because watching it on Paramount Plus honestly was kind of a pain. Oh, you don't have an ad blocker. Dang. Let's go. W. Season one. I think when I was watching the second arc, felt like a chore. And obviously, like watching anything from Paramount Plus, especially like animated stuff, I got to deal with like 50 ads, so it was a pain to get through it. And I'm not gonna pirate it, so yeah. I mean, maybe that brought it down a bit. Maybe that's why I'm saying I should probably lower my rating. But otherwise, it was all right. It was solid. Hopefully, season two kind of sets up the second movie in a good way. I think they came out with a game as well, but I haven't. I heard like nothing to like about that game. I've had zero interest in it, honestly, which is sad because I want to have interest in it, but I don't know. As of right now, I just don't. Alien Romulus, and this film surprises me with the amount of people that say either it's solid or it's mid, because it's not mid. It's actually a lot of fun. Just watched an ad for Evan. Thank you, G-Man. I appreciate it. I know a lot of people on Letterboxd that either gave this film 3 stars or 4 stars. Like, there's no in between. I give it 4. I'm going to rate it in between Deadpool 3 and Kingdom of the Apes. And Alien Romulus is very good. I started watching like the Alien movies this year, so I watched the first two before going to this one. First two were excellent. This film was also really good. I don't think it's as good as the first two, but it's probably the best since then. Third one sucked. The prequel film sucked. Just wait till I do my Predator and Alien marathon ranking video this year, because I do plan on doing that in November. Because with the Predator movie coming out in theaters in November, finishing up the Alien Marathon and doing Alien Earth. I'm going to do that later this year as well, so hopefully it works out. Alien Romulus was a really great horror movie, great practical effects, great visuals. Story was solid, acting was solid, characters were alright, pacing was good. It was just a good movie. Good horror movie. It definitely made it definitely made me open up to more alien movies or horror movies in general, which is weird because this isn't like your typical horror movie. It's just an alien movie. But Alien Romulus was pretty good. Great movie. The only way I can see why people say it's mid or average is because of the human characters or the use of I think they have the use of AI in the movie at some point with a deceased actor. Rest in peace. Otherwise, I don't really see why it's mid. I think it's a great film either way, so I'm not complaining. Bricktoons was very short. I actually liked the Pixar shorts, which is weird because for a show like this, it probably shouldn't be as high as it is. So I don't really think it's fair for me to rate this at all. I probably should have left this out because it's a very short show. Same for Sonic and Shadow Generations. Like, that was pretty short as well. That's what she said. That's not what she said, actually. Um, it's weird because percentage-wise, it's literally in between. It's like right here. Thinking about it over time, and it's not that high. It was like good shorts. I think it's kind of unfair for me to rank it because I think some of these other shows, like, I feel like they're definitely better, or at least they could be better. So. No, she did not say that, G-Man. Not at all. Don't even think about it. But yeah, Bricktoons is average. It has some fun Pixar shorts. There's a couple mid ones, but the rest are pretty solid, so it's an average. Borderlands enters the bottom 5. I'm pretty certain now that Megamind Rules is gonna be in trash. I don't even think it's gonna be in the bottom 5 anymore, or at least I'm gonna have to expand the bottom 5 for now, because there's a lot of half ratings on this list, or at least there's like a few more I already know they're gonna be. And one of them is Borderlands, and that's actually gonna be below Madam Web and above Megamind 2. I don't think I need to explain myself on this one. Picture everything bad about a movie and just think about Borderlands. It should make you think about Borderlands. Anyways, it's pretty bad on its own. I don't really want to I don't want to sit here talking about it. I kind of went into it thinking it was gonna be fun. It was gonna be cheesy. I didn't think it was. I didn't think it was gonna be like a half-star thing. But right now it's in the bottom five. And if I'm looking at my list, there should be one more thing in here that would be in the bottom five. That is below Megamind Rules, which is crazy to me. Because that show was horrible. And I dropped it. It's like one of the few shows I actually dropped. So, I don't know, man. It was just garbage. I'll probably make it like bottom 6 or 7. We'll see. Fall Guy. This was my movie, actually. I started it. Co-star Emily Blunt. I, the villain of the movie was my sister's husband, Arnold Taylor Johnson. Fall Guy, I'm going to put between Invincible Season 2 and Bad Batch Season 3. This was a lot of fun. Oh, wait. No, wait. Do I have the ranking wrong? Didn't I watch Furiosa before? You know what? Let's take a detour, everybody. I could have sworn I watched Furiosa before Fall Guy. Yep, September 8th. Probably just sorted on my list later on. Oh, no, I watched Furiosa after. Okay, that's not bad. Alright, so Fall Guy, yes, it's going to go in between Invincible and Bad Batch. And because you guys already saw it, Furiosa is going to go between Fall Guy and Bad Batch. I am Ryan Gosling. And W Tom if you didn't... Oh, you didn't get the trophy, damn. If you did, I was about to say W. But, dang. Fall Guy was great. A lot of fun. I watched the extended cut, so I think one of the flaws is obviously for going on for too long. But yeah, honestly, it was a lot of fun. One of the most underrated films of the year, I'll say too. Not as well acknowledged. They should have done more in the box office too. Furiosa also should have done more at the box. It's literally like the same thing. Like, should have done more at the box office. The only problem with Furiosa is that I think Fall Guy is just more enjoyable for me. Furiosa, enjoyable as well. I don't think it's as good as Fury Road. I don't think it's as good as Mad Max 2. I think it's lower than Mad Max 2. It's definitely better than the first and third one, that's for sure. And perhaps it'll be better or worse than the new movie that's coming out eventually, if that even comes out. I think it's called Wasteland or something like that. I don't even know. This film should have came out before COVID. Like, before COVID era, this film should have came out. I don't care if it was with Anna Taylor-Joy or if it was with a different actress. It should have came out before. There's no way you wait almost a decade after Fury Road to make this movie. And then now we might not even get Wasteland because of George Miller's old age. Which, of course, that's something he can't control. But they could definitely tell Fury Road went above and beyond with practical effects. This film really didn't go above and beyond. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It was good. Action was good. Visuals are actually surprisingly better than I thought they would be. Still not as good, but they're better because I thought the trailers, and I remember I was even going to pirate the film too. And I'm like, nah, I'm just going to wait till it's on streaming because I actually want to see if the visuals are bad or good. And they're actually pretty solid, so. Furiosa and Fall Guy are in the gray tier. They're pretty much like neck and neck with each other. I think Fall Guy's better because I'm Ryan Gosling. And then you got the Arc anime from Paramount Plus. Happy I barely got ads, but 6 episodes. One solid episode. The rest are pretty mid. It's actually going to go in the mid tier. I actually gave it 60% in the average tier. But it doesn't deserve average. It's pretty mid. It is horrible, dude. Like, if you want to... Like, I watched Skull Island, which was bad. And this show reminded me of it. I think it's slightly better than it, which is weird. Because one's Monsterverse, one's dinosaurs. I love both. But this show... I remember the show Arc being more bad. It's pretty woke, if you ask me. Which... Say what you want. Oh, you don't know the meaning about woke and stuff like that. No, or whatever term you're supposed to use. It's not good. It is not good. It's a typical 6 American anime series. They try to throw woke stuff in there. And it's like, come on. Ark is not good. And like 20 people watched it on Paramount. Somehow getting a second season, it'll probably drop randomly, unexpectedly, because like like this first season did. Otherwise, it was pretty bad. I love the idea of dinosaurs. I love the idea of all these people from different times coming in onto this island mysteriously. But the execution, the characters, even the animation too, like it was pretty bad. It was bad. Attack on Titan's on my list. I still have to watch Attack on Titan. Finland Saga, Berserk, I might watch as well. One Piece, I am gonna start this year. Only the first 3 seasons, though, nothing more. I might watch more. Like I might watch One Punch Man, Jujutsu Kaisen. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, that's it. Arc is mid. Rebuild the Galaxy. Ugh. This is a weird one. I want to see where I ranked it. Did I rank it higher or lower than Smiley Friends? Lower. And when I talk about, some of these 3.5 shows where I probably slightly overrated it, 100% thinking about it now, this is one of them. This should not be as high as it is, but it's going to be in between Smiley Friends and Tales of TMNT. If I was able to rank it lower, I would rank it like around here. Like around where Garfield is. It should not be as high as it did. They promoted Darth Jar Jar in the show like crazy, and they wasted him, and it was bad. It was very, very bad, the way they wasted Darth Jar Jar. And I think that's what mainly brings it down for me, because it's mostly fun. It's pretty fun, but you can't bring in something like Darth Jar Jar, a popular meme for Star Wars for years, decades, or I should say decade or so, whatever, and you just waste him. Like, that's not good. He should have been the main villain, honestly. Or like right when he was introduced, he should have been like a side or secondary villain. But don't get me wrong, the idea is so much fun. The show was surprisingly fun, but they didn't really do well with it, especially with Darth Jar Jar. I mean, literally, you can literally tell. Like, if I zoom it in, you can see that Darth Jar Jar's little neck is right there, and he's like at the top of the poster, almost like as if as if they're promoting him as the main villain. Yet he had like maybe like a minute of screen time, not even. Like, it was bad, dude. They should have done so much better, and they folded so badly. But yeah, Civil War is next. I think this is gonna be in between. Rebuild and Tales, or between Tales and Caped Crusader. I think it's in between Rebuild and Caped. Not Caped. Rebuild and Tales. Civil War wasn't bad. It wasn't bad as I thought it would be. It's a little controversial, not really. I like that it doesn't get too political. Also, I'm sure like the company behind it is. It's weird because it's a type of film that you would not want it to get political, but the way the story goes, it's almost like it's written to be that way, and it's just not. So it's weird. It's pretty weird. I'm not into politics, but I don't like when either side tries to be super one-sided, especially the left. I'm more into Jesus instead of politics, but so Civil War wasn't horrible for me. It's not like I could sit there and there's obviously biased political agenda, which is nice, unlike Acolyte, but or Arc, I should say, or anything else. Yeah, no, I think that's it for now. But yeah, Civil War was pretty good. It was solid. Um, Kind of forgot about it after a certain time, and then when it came out on Max, I'm like, all right, I'll watch it. I watched it. It was good. I finished. Oh my gosh, I'm yawning. I finished Rebuild the Galaxy and Civil War. I think on the same day, so that's pretty cool. But that's it. Civil War is on the solid tier. It's 3.5 for me. It's not horrible. And then you got Despicable Me 4. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh man. This is where it gets very controversial. Very, very controversial. Like, I'm dead serious when I say that, by the way. This was. I think it was better than the third movie, and I think it was better than Minions. It's not better than the first two, and surprisingly, it's not better than Rise of Gru. I still think Rise of Gru is overrated to this day. The way a lot of people rate, I give it 3 stars. It's kind of like an early 3 stars for me. For Minions Rise of Gru, but that was no, that was pretty mid. The 2 times I watched, I gave it 3. It was mid, whatever. Despicable Me 4 is also pretty mid. It's weird because my percentage rating is lower than Ark. If I could lower Ark's more, I would. I enjoyed Despicable Me 4 more than Ark, but it was pretty bad either. I mean, alright, for now, it's going to be between Argo and Ark. But Despicable Me 4 is pretty bad. It's very bad. Not horrible, not like imaginary bad, but like it was pretty mid. Now at this point, besides the third movie and the Minion stuff, you can tell instead of trying to get a good message out there, instead of trying to get good storytelling, at this point they're just trying to milk money. Because if I pull up I'll pull it up right now. Hot take, interesting. I'll pull it up right now. Let me pull in Despicable Me franchise worldwide box office, and I'll show you why they keep milking it. Minions Rise. What is this? No, this is no. I need like, guys. This is not what I'm talking about. All right, Minions Rise of Gru. This came out 2022, 940 million. You get Despicable Me 3. Let's say, a billion. Minions, a billion, 1.1 billion. I think that might be the highest, right? Yeah. All the movies have done well. I'm pretty sure. And then you got Despicable Me 4, 969 million. They already confirmed Minions 3, which if I had to assume, it would be around the first two. And then you got Despicable Me 5, which at this point, it's inevitable to not announce it. They're definitely announcing it at some point. Either if it's now or if it's later on. Despicable Me 4, I disagree because I wanted it to be Kung Fu Panda 4. I wanted it to be better than Kung Fu Panda 4. And it wasn't. There's just so many subplots going on. There's not one main story being told. There's like no message, which is kind of understandable because it's a kids movie. But they keep milking it at this point. It's not like. I don't know. It's weird, man. I don't really like how many subplots are in there. There's like not one. There wasn't a main focus. There wasn't like one focus. 1 minute you're with like the minion superheroes that also barely get utilized. Then you got Gru with his son. Then you got Lucy doing her own thing. And then I'm pretty sure you got the kids doing their own thing too. Then you got a lot of different things going on. Then you got the villain. Probably the worst villain in the franchise. Actually, no. That's a hot take. Bottom 2, bottom 3. I think I might have did a ranking in my review. I hope I did. Because I forgot. That's just me. And I think a lot of you guys might disagree with that too. I'm sure you guys will. Let me see. Both franchises are definitely being milked, especially Kung Fu Panda now. Like, you can tell Kung Fu Panda is being milked. With the fourth one, there's definitely being milked. Now they're making a fifth one. Definitely is, especially no Furious 5. Trophy's freaking difficult. It's so difficult. Kung Fu Panda was on a side adventure and brought back the old villains to keep it interesting. Yeah, that's the problem with the fourth one. That's why also, like, I think with some of these solid and average stuff, I don't know if I underrated it or overrated it. In a way, Kung Fu Panda 4, I probably overrated just a bit. Uh, hmm. Chameleon and Will Phillips. villains are both pretty bad. I don't know who I would think is better than the other. All Chameleon's purpose is just to change forms into, a character that, wants new just for cameo's sake. That's why the villains are there. That's probably why they literally brought it back. But then they got a plot hole in the beginning of the film in Kung Fu Panda 4, where the chameleon already changed to Tai Lung, which doesn't make any sense because it can't change to a character unless it's already beat them in battle, or at least something like that. Like that was the whole issue, because that's what it did. And yeah, it was pretty bad. Kung Fu Panda 4 was pretty bad. Yeah, really childish dialogue, fart jokes. Yeah, it was bad. It's like you have a great trilogy, and instead of either stopping that, or if you continue another trilogy, make it good, they let that go. They let it go. Like Despicable Me. Despicable Me only had like 2 good movies, the first 2, and then after that, it just started dipping, in my opinion. Everything else is just mid after mid after mid. Even Minions Rise of Gru, which I don't like. The 2 times I saw it, I thought it was mid. I'm probably gonna have to rewatch them again before I see Minions 3 in a few years, and I kind of don't want to. But yeah, wasn't great. Inside Out 2 though was surprisingly great. Still worse than Inside Out 1. I originally had it higher than Godzilla X Kong. Obviously, I think after I watched Dune 2, I lowered it lower, but it's still amazing. Minions was fine. Okay, because I remember when I watched the first movie years ago, it was fine. Like, I don't think it's horrible. I think the worst movie in this franchise, I think, was the 3rd one. And then it's either Minions or the 4th one. Like, they're probably like bottom 3. Inside Out 2. I haven't watched Inside Out. Inside Out 1 is good. Inside Out 2 is also good. I think Inside Out 1's better. Good animation, good storytelling. No wokeness, surprisingly, because it's Disney and Pixar. So that's good. As long as the 3rd one isn't like that, that's if they confirm a 3rd one. But, I don't know how the second Inside Out 2... that doesn't make sense. I don't know how the second Inside Out made the highest amount of money this year. Not only this year, but highest of any anime film of all time. But they're definitely going to make a 3rd one at some point. But it was good. It wasn't anything bad. Like, I would honestly recommend watching the first 2 films. They're pretty good films. They're not bad. Definitely one of Pixar's best, better type of stuff. But that's pretty much it. So it's in the amazing tier. All right, here we go. The first top 5 film or show on this list goes to Wild Robot, and I can probably confirm early on that it's going to stay number 1. It's going to stay number 1 in my top 5. Now, I gave this film 5 stars. When I do my percentage rating, it's obviously in the 5s. I didn't give it 100%. I think I gave it 98. There wasn't a film this year or show this year that gave me that would be like 100% for me. Wild Robot is 98%. It's so close. It is a kids movie, but it's a kids movie with great storytelling, great animations, very lovable characters. It does it very well. It does take the childish tone just a tad too high, to a point where I'm like, all right, it's not gonna get 100%. It's still gonna be 5 stars, but it's up there, and it's still the best film of the year. Like, call me stupid. Her like, I am the Wild Robot line. Like, that was a little eh. That's what brought it down for me. Oh, like, come on. Like, do I need to hear that? I don't think so. I mean, I know it's a kids movie, but it was good. Amazing film. Maybe want to watch Ultraman Rising, which is on there. It made me watch Iron Giant, which is great. Obviously, it didn't come out this year. It'd be amazing though. Ultraman, you guys will see what I talk about that. Flow, which I literally watched yesterday, pretty much reminded me of it too. I am the Sigma 1. I am the Cobra Kai. Get out! Yeah, so Wild Robot's top 5. If you haven't seen it already, I would 100% check it out. I don't think it's streaming on a streaming service yet. I think you still have to rent or buy it or somewhere, like on Prime Video or YouTube. Uh, Otherwise, either rent it or something or buy it because it was great, or watch it on a streaming service. Surprisingly, I haven't rewatched it. I've rewatched Godzilla X Kong about like 6, 7 times this year. I haven't rewatched Wild Robot, and I rewatched Deadpool 3 like another 2, 3 times. Actually, no, I rewatched it 2 times after the first viewing. Alien Romulus I was supposed to rewatch, I never did. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And now, yeah, okay, so Wild Robot is gonna start off with the final 3 months of the year. I actually didn't even talk about this, but I had it in like sets. Everything from Echo to Godzilla X Kong was January through March. Everything from Ted to whatever was before Garfield was April through June. What was before Garfield? April through June was Ted through Shogun. July through September was Garfield to Inside Out 2. And then October is going to be Wild Robot, obviously, until, Penguin and Beast games, which I'll talk about those in a bit. All right. Let's get started with Mousetrap. This is pretty much what I was talking about. I actually want to look at my ranking. Where is this lower than? It's lower than Madam Web 2? Damn. All right. Well, now we got the bottom 6. Isn't there one more thing I want to put in here? No. So I think I can confirm as well. Everything I gave half a star to is in my bottom 5, except Acolyte. Acolyte's actually 1.5, but since Acolyte was pretty bad, instead of it going in trash, it's gonna get its own spot. So I'm gonna rename this bottom 6 just because Megamind Rules sucks. I'm not gonna do the same for the top. I'm not even gonna talk about Mousetrap. I just don't recommend checking it out. Just picture a generic slasher, horribly made generic slasher film with $100 budget or something like that. Just picture that. That's pretty much Mousetrap. Not worth your time. Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2 is next. The first Blood and Honey film is the second worst film I've seen of all time. Or at least in the bottom 3. As of right now. Going into this, expectations were on the ground. Throughout the film, it's 100% of an improvement over the first one. Mega Man is a torture device. What do you mean, Mega Man? Oh, Mega Mind. Maybe that's what you mean. I was thinking Mega Man like the secret level episode, but I don't know. Blood and Honey 2. Let me make sure where this is at. Okay. What a hot take, man. You guys are not ready for this one. Blood and Honey 2 is in trash, but it's higher than a certain film that shall not be named. Shall not be named. Literally next. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, some of the designs for the monsters are fine. I like the kills more. That's pretty much it. Like, there's nothing. Yeah, that's kind of it. Like, there's nothing much for me to talk about for that movie. I'll probably watch the third one if they make one. But these are like films I would literally like pirate or watch some for free on streaming. Like, I would never go to the theater and watch this. It's not my cup of tea. But yeah, I mean, it's. I don't even know why they're doing this. I'm surprised Mickey's Mousetrap isn't even part of the same universe. But yeah. Then you got Joker Valia Doo-Doo, because this film was very doo-doo. It's so trash, it's going below Blood and Honey. I don't even know how you can mess up Joker. Firstly, I don't even know how it's a $200 million budget. That's what I want to know. Literally, this movie had like 3 sets. It had 3 sets, 1 small explosion in the courtroom. I don't know how it's a $200 million budget. $200 million budget. And the writing and the story pretty much flips you off if you enjoyed the first film. And yeah, it's pretty bad. People are trying to say, oh, it's a hidden masterpiece. It is not a hidden masterpiece. It is trash. It's not great. If you liked the first film or enjoyed the first film, you will not like this one. All it is, it's they try to recap it in a way, and then they try to flip you off and say, "You like the first one? Well, guess what? We don't, and I'm making a sequel for $200 million, but $200 million for some reason. I don't even know why, and we're gonna make it 10, 100 times worse than the first one." And yeah, I mean, it was bad. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Valia Doodoo. You got Jackpot. Uh, I gave this 2 stars as well as Imaginary. I don't know if I want to keep it at the top of trash because I don't think it's bad. It's bad, but I think for 2 stars I'll break it trash. Again, this is like one of those films. I'm like, all right, does that include like more films and stuff during this ranking? Jackpot. I'll just watch it because it seems really stupid and really bad, but at the same time, it has the potential to be kind of fun with the action. It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. And you got Aquafina. Someone help me out because I watched 2 Aquafina films this year. Before Dune 2 and before whatever great film came out this year. Before Skeleton Crew. I don't even know what I was doing. I don't even know what I'm cooking at this point. I'm not even going to talk about it. It's not really worth your time. The next one is worth your time. I'll say that. And that's X-Men 97. And if you love X-Men, if you love the animated show, this show's for you. It's going in the top 5. I don't care what you say. It is top 5. It is 4.5. And I don't know if it's going to stay in the top 5 for long. We'll see. But as of right now, it's in the top 5. It should be in the top 5. I don't know why it wouldn't be. The animated series, the 90s show, if I ranked it on this list, all 5 seasons, it would be between Garfield and Monkey Man. I think the 5th season was a huge downgrade compared to the first 4. I mean, 2nd and 3rd one were pretty mid as well. Or at least, average. 1st and 3rd one were solid. But overall, it was kind of like a solid show. And you got 97. Like, 10 times better than the best season of X-Men, the animated. Which I think was like season 1 or 4. I think season 1. I don't know how they managed to do that. That was crazy to me. Great storytelling. Really good voice acting. 10 out of 10 peak animation. Characters are great. I don't think every episode's a 5 or 4.5. I think there's a couple 4-star episodes in there. Like, alright, let's move on a bit, But otherwise, great show. Really great show. And even if you haven't watched animated, I mean, I do recommend, like, if you're really going to sit here watching 97, it's probably worth watching the animated show before then so you get used to the characters. Because I was originally going to do it where I watched 97. Or I'll watch it first. And then I was going to watch the animated show. And then I was either going to stop or I was just going to watch 97 again. And I think that would have been bad because I probably wouldn't have liked the show much the first time around. So I'm glad I watched 97 after the animated show. But it's very good. Again, Nightcrawler was probably the best part of the show. Morph was alright. A little underutilized, but alright, he's alright. Venom 3 is a tough one. I want to figure out where I rank this on my list. Alright. Well, Tom Brady is a bit too high. That should be lower. I kind of forgot about the Tom Brady one. For a while. Venom 3. Oh, boy. Well, I can say without a doubt, I'm going to fix this ranking, by the way. I can say without a doubt Venom 3 is the best. Not only Venom film, uh, out of the Sonyverse, but also the best Sonyverse film, which is not saying much because it's like at the end of average. I'm actually gonna rank it lower than Avatar. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, I had a lot of fun with this film in theaters, but again, it's very stupid. Very stupid. It's pretty much like as if you're watching the first two. You're pretty much getting the same thing. I think what makes it better is the chemistry between Eddie and Venom. Otherwise, it's kind of just okay, I guess. Like I don't know. It's all right. You know, I think it's like a 2.5, 2.6 on Letterboxd now, which is kind of understandable. But for me, it's 3 stars. I don't think that the film would be any lower, to be honest. And then you got Lisa Frankenstein again, just like Jackpot, just like Imaginary, just like some of these other films on this list. I literally only watched it. I literally only watched it just to include more things in here. It was pretty mid. It's in the mid category. Surprisingly, enjoyed it slightly more than Argyle, but that might change in the future. We'll see. But yeah, at least in Frankenstein was pretty mid. The Boys season 4. This is where it gets. This is where it gets a hot take, and I want to check my Boys season 4 rating. I kind of forgot what it was. 36. All right. See, no, let me see Joker 2. I'm going to make sure this is accurate. 37. Wow. Well, I think you guys already know where Boy Season 4 is going. In between Joker, Valia Dudu, and Lift. Now, when I mentioned the most disappointing films, I already mentioned some of that. The most disappointing shows or seasons, Boy Season 4 is practically on the top of the list. I think what ruined this show is that this show kind of took the inappropriate stuff, the mockery, the clear woke political agenda, and turned it up 10 times, 100 times. This season had pretty much no clear story. It had no clear direction. It was almost like a setup for season 5 in a way. The only good thing that I think that came out of this season was like the finale. That's it. That's it. Firecracker is probably one of the worst characters I've seen in The Boys. Sister Sage was mid. A lot of this stuff going on this season was pretty bad. A lot of the storylines I didn't like. They're pretty bad. I'm going to rewatch the season anyways before season 5, so perhaps my rating changes, but any film or show that mocks the Lord, that mocks Christianity, I will be very critical towards. The Boys season 4 being one of them. Wasn't there something else that also had that I mentioned before? I don't remember. Wasn't there another thing that had mockery in there? I don't remember. Nah, I don't remember. I'm blinking out. But yeah, Boys season 4. I didn't like it, and maybe that will rile up people who, similar people who slandered me for Sonic 3 in that video. I'll probably get similar people, but for The Boys, because I don't know. You get people that overrate this show all the time. It used to be like a top 3 show for me. And it's like on rewatch, watching the first 3 seasons and stuff, it went down a lot. So, yeah. Take out the mockery. Take out the one-sided political agenda, because I don't care about politics. And have a good story in there. You know what? Fine. I think it would be higher. Otherwise, it's in trash, unfortunately. Another thing that's going in trash is Tomb Raider, the Netflix anime. I'm confused where I rated this as well. because again, this is like a show I literally just watched just to watch it, just for this video, and it was horrible. I actually have two or three Tomb Raider games on Epic Games for free, because I remember like 2 or 3 years ago they released them for free. I haven't played them. This show pretty much made me distant to play them. This is pretty much a similar rating to Echo, so I'm gonna rate it in the mid category, only because of that. If it didn't, it would be in trash. Uh, oh man. Dude, I've been yawning and stuff. I'm gonna try to get through I'm gonna try getting through this faster, and since it's getting a little later, since I do have to do stuff, I'm probably not gonna stream Marvel Rivals today, unfortunately. So I will stream it for the first season though. Okay, do not get mad. I will stream the first season. But I'm not gonna stream it today. Um, I really have nothing to say for Tomb Raider. Like, that's how bad it is. It's pretty much like Ark. But at least Ark had like a cool concept. This was pretty much just boring. Didn't know what it was doing. Everything's unlikable, unenjoyable. It's just bad. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to remember. Like, is there like anything good from this? I don't even know, man. Like, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know. Do I even sit myself through season 2? Should I just drop it where it is? I don't know. A lot of these shows I want to drop, like Ark, I want to drop. Tomb Raider, I want to drop. Ted, I've been very 50-50 on. But yeah, I mean, Tomb Raider is something we need to talk about. Ultraman Rising, once again, one of the most underrated movies of the year, just like Godzilla. It's going in amazing. Slightly better than Godzilla, slightly below Shogun. If you haven't seen this, it's a Netflix original. 100% check this out. If you like kaiju stuff, if you like animation stuff in 2D animation, kaiju stuff, you'll love this film. I love this film. Honestly, one of the best kaiju films I've seen of all time, which is saying something because you wouldn't really think this was a film like that. I've been tempted to lower it down, but I can't really think of stuff to lower it down to. I think similar to Wild Robot, you can kind of tell like, all right, there's some childish things in here, you know. But otherwise, it was pretty good. Very good. Ultraman Rising, probably one of the most underrated films of the year. The dynamics, the chemistry is great. So, surprisingly better than Godzilla x Kong, I'll be honest. But yeah, Ultraman Rising is going to go in amazing. Then you got Quiet Place Day 1. And I've been thinking about this film because we got the first two films. The third one has been confirmed for a while, and instead we get Day 1 in between. Why do we get Day 1 in between the second and third film, and not the third film? And then when the third film is done, we get to Day 1. I have no idea. It's going between Garfield and Monkey Man. The first two Quiet Place films I liked. I would say the first one is probably on the top of solid. The second one's at the lowest on great. They're both good. And it's like Day 1. Man, I'm yawning. Day 1 is not bad. It's just average. The New York City setting is great. It takes a bit to get into and to get out of. That's pretty much it. So yeah, I apologies because I'm starting to fall asleep. I don't know why I'm starting to fall asleep, but yeah, Day 1's in solid. I mean, chat, give me 1 second. I'm gonna go wash my eyes because I don't know why I'm falling asleep. Something's up. But yeah, so far this is my ranking. Then we got to. Actually, no. We got one more thing I watched in November, and then we got the rest of December, January. Let me just. Sorry, Jay. Hopefully I'm not too tired. Alright, CG, man. Thank you for stopping by for a bit. It was probably because I went to the dentist. I asked my sister about it, so. Because I did go to the dentist before this, so. Literally quick. Like, everything was good, too, so. But yeah. That's probably why I'm a little tired. Quiet Place Day 1. The idea of New York City is so cool. But I wouldn't say the execution's horrible. I don't think it was horrible, but I think it could have been better for sure. Like, I'm not like a professional writer, but it definitely like, like, I don't know. I'm not a professional writer, so like I couldn't think of an idea to do, especially it's not like my universe. Like, I've been thinking about my own type of film, my own type of series, so obviously I would know everything I would need to talk about. This obviously John Krasinski's honestly been it's kind of been his thing, so maybe he has a reason why this came out between after the second one before the third one. I think it's a poor decision in my opinion because we gotta wait at least 5 years between the second and third movie, and if you didn't like the second one as much, especially day one, you're probably not gonna be as interested in the third movie. So that's just me. Terminator is coming up. Terminator 0. Tom, I don't think you'll be happy with my Terminator 0 ranking, I'll tell you that now, but it's coming up. Crap, where? Nah. Not Terminator. Transformers 1, if I am not mistaken, is top 5 of the year. The only time I'll agree with Tom is with Transformers 1. Because this is the type of film Transformers movies should be. I don't care if it's live action or animated. A great story, great characters we all know and love, just more likable, great chemistry, great dynamic. I mean, the animation here was great, action was fun, but mainly the story and characters is what built this up to be one of the best films of the year. Probably one of the most underrated films of the year too, because it's not even nominated in a lot of the Golden Globes and stuff. So that's why. Yeah. I do really like Transformers 1 a lot. Like, I was very shocked when I saw it too. I'm like, there's no. Because Marvel Spaceman, if you guys remember him, or you guys know him, in September, he asked me, do you want to see Transformers 1? He even buy me a free ticket. Like, I don't even have to pay anything. I don't have to pay him anything. I can get a free ticket. And on top of that, get a free Sonic 3 shadow poster. You know this poster right here? You know this poster right here for Sonic 3? Look, look, look. You see this poster before? My poster on Letterboxd? You could have gotten that for free if you saw Transformers one of the days. And guess what I said? Nah, I'm not interested. The trailers didn't make me that interested. Stupid idiot. Like, I don't... Oh my gosh. If I had a ranking of one of the most stupidest decisions I made in my life, that would be in the top 3, possibly number 1. And I regret it even more watching it on streaming, and it was probably like, if I look at all the films right now, it's probably like the third best film that came out this year. And third best animated film. Which is crazy to me. I mean, hey, animation had a good year. Live action, but yeah. Common Evan L. I would say rare Evan L right there. But yeah. Sonic 3 has become the second highest grossing video game adaptation in the US. Thank you, Discussing Film. I appreciate it for the notification. Alright, so we're going to go through December. So Fallout through Craven is all the stuff I finished in December, and then Gladiator 2 and through Beast Games is all the stuff I pretty much got done in the past week. Uh, Anime at a peak year, yeah, only for you. I think thinking about it now, I think now as I've been talking about this tier list, I think I'm gonna drop Tomb Raider. Uh, Maybe Ark. I don't know yet, but Ark. But Tomb Raider I'm gonna drop because I know they confirmed the second season, but it's like I did not like the show at all. It doesn't even deserve to be mid. It deserves to be trash because I literally didn't even mention a positive, but with my rating somehow it's in the mid territory. So I don't even know. I think eventually I'm just gonna lower my ratings a bit down and just drop it. So I am gonna lower. I'm gonna lower it to trash. Fallout is next. This was probably one of my most anticipated shows to watch this year, and it's gonna go in between Kingdom of the Apes and Invincible season 2. If you're a video game guy like me, I don't care if you've played the Fallout games or not. I have not. This is definitely a show to check out. It has its weird moments. There's some things that I'm hyped for that have their weird moments. This is one of them. But all around it was great, and I can't wait for season 2. Story was fun. The characters are fun. I think the characters are probably the best part about it. Visuals are great. You can't get anything wrong about that. Solo leveling top 5 is crazy. There's no way it would be top 5. If I go to solo leveling right now in Serialized, I bet you the average rating is at most a 4. I don't know. Hey, if you want to do that recommendation feature on Serialized, go ahead. But personally, for me right now, not right now. Definitely not something I would watch right now. Fallout though, great show. Again, just be aware of some of the, the weird stuff here and there, but honestly, great show otherwise. 100% recommend it. You got Dream Productions. Kind of fun. I wonder where I rated it on this list. Did I rate it higher? No, I rated it lower. Okay, that's what I was thinking. I'm gonna rate it in between Monkey Man and Quiet on Set. I was thinking about it just now. I'm like, I don't think it's better than Monkey Man. It's not, in my opinion. It's a good 3.5 for me. It's solid. I think more Pixar shows, like short Pixar shows, they're great. Win or Lose is supposed to come out next month. I'm actually kind of excited for that. Hopefully it's good, nothing woke. Again, Dream Productions was kind of fun. It's kind of cool. If you like the Inside Out films, you'll like it. I don't think it's as good as the films at all, obviously, but they're fun. It's a fun, short 25, 30-minute episodes. It's only like 4 of them. It's a mini-series. That's it. There's nothing really much for me to talk about it. I can't really talk about it much. Sonic X Shadow Generations. I'm not going to talk about this much because I talked about already my Sonic video. So if you haven't checked it out, check it out. It's going to go between Invincible Season 2 and Fall Guy. Let me make sure that's correct because I don't want to... Yeah. Oh, it's actually... Oh, I didn't realize. I didn't... Wow. Okay, so it's apparently... Oh, because this is probably an 8.5. Right? Damn, I don't even know my own ratings. I don't even know my own ratings. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay. Forgive me for that, guys. What I meant for season 2 was part 2 only that came out in 2024, not the first part. So that was an 85, this 84, this 83, yeah. Sonic X Shadows in between Fallout and Fall Guy. Tom, if you ever get like a Sonic game, get Sonic X Shadow Generations and then watch Dark Beginnings as the prologue. It's an anime 3 short episode thing. It's very good. Or if you want to watch it now, It's like 10 minutes long. Very good stuff. It kind of expanded like Shadow Maria's story in that universe too. Great animation too, great action. I liked it. I don't think it's a 5-star. I don't think it's 5 stars, but I think it's really good. And next up is Sonic 3, which is another one I wanted to talk about because this is going to be really weird. Because after I came out of the movie, Firstly, in the Sonic video I made, it was at the top of average with a 76% rating. In that video, I should have put it in the same tier as Sonic X Shadow and Sonic Mania Adventures. I didn't. I should have done it. I don't think it's peak. I don't think it's top 5 as people are saying it is. It's a really good movie, but it still has its Sonic humor in there, and that's where they gotta like improve on with Sonic 4. So it has its irrelevant humor. It has its Koinichi. What? I'll be Ninja when I'm older. Pretty sure I have that game already free off PS Plus. Wait, what? Wait, no way. No, let me get a backlog. You guys have seen my backlog account probably for the first time. You're telling me? No way, dude. Don't tell me this game is free on PS Plus. You're joking. Don't. Tom, is it this game? Tom, don't tell me it's this game. I'm about to fly to the UK, commit robbery, and steal your PlayStation, and then fly back to the US and play it on my own. If you're telling the truth. Because now I've been saying to myself, oh, I'm not gonna get a PlayStation because Spider-Man 2 is coming on PC. Huh. And the fact that this game was on sale before for like 30 something bucks. I wasn't gonna get it because I was gonna get Sonic Adventure 2 and then the 4 Arkham games and maybe even Jedi Survivor. I just never did. I should have though. Maybe another day. Anyway, Sonic 3. I talked about it more in that video. I think now I can talk about spoilers though, because in that video I didn't talk about spoilers. I should have. It's gonna go in solid. I really want to rank it in the great tier, but for right now it's solid. I haven't rewatched it yet, so slow your horses, Evan. It's in solid tier. Great movie. Story with Shadow. Obviously, Shadow was the best part of the movie. I would say what brings the movie down for me is the irrelevant humor. Again, just like the first two, there's a lot of it. This film does better job with handling the humans and not involving them as much as they once did. The action, the CGI and visuals, they're mostly great. I mean, the action's great. Visuals are mostly great. CGI is pretty good. Characters are pretty good. I love Shadow Maria's backstory. I think I really start to like, these characters a lot more with this film. I do think James Marsden's character should have been dead. He should not have been alive. A lot of people are saying, like, oh, it's a kid's movie technically, so they're not going to kill him off. They should have. Sorry, they should have. There's no way that you're going to do something like that. I'm pretty sure Tales of TMNT is 1% higher. But because that show was almost like a chore to sit through, I'm not going to rank it higher. Is it higher, actually? I think so. Actually, wait, I think both of them are. I think both of these are higher. But we're going to pretend that isn't the case. Sonic 3 is definitely better than both of them. I don't care. Final act, Live and Learn. One of the best final acts I've seen this year. Probably as good as Godzilla x Kong's. That was a pretty good final act. Alien Romulus had a pretty good final act, at least from what I remember. Yeah, I mean, it was good. Good stuff. Okay, so now we're gonna go up to Terminator Zero. This is where Tom's gonna get very, very mad at me. I think I can say officially that this is gonna be. I'm trying to look at all these on the list. It won't be the last thing I put in the average tier, but it's gonna be the thing at the top of it. And I'm very close at putting it at the end of solid, but I think this show, it took a while for me to lock into the show, to be hooked into it. And when I was, it wasn't like 4 stars and above locked in. I was kind of like, alright, it's solid. I've only watched the first 2 Terminator films. I never watched the other four. I was supposed to watch the other four, but I didn't. So Terminator Zero delayed for a long time, and that was my fault, I guess. I don't really know. Um, yeah, I mean, honestly, yeah, I mean, Terminator Zero is alright. I mean, it might be something I rewatch. I'm not dropping it. I'll say that. It's not a show I'm gonna drop like Tomb Raider, maybe Ark. Um, but it's definitely gonna be a show that I may rewatch when season two gets announced and release date. It's just I'll only rewatch it if I actually sit there like rewatching it the whole season within like 2 3 days. Like if I'm gonna sit there watching it in within like a month, I'm not doing it. But yeah, Terminator Zero is a solid story. I think the first two films are obviously far better. I can't compare it to the other four. It's an American anime, so it was alright. Animation was alright. Story was solid. Characters are eh. I don't know. It took a little while for me to get locked in. I have a feeling Tom's gonna be saying something. We'll see. Edge of Sleep. I forget. Okay. So Edge of Sleep is below Cape Crusader, above Garfield. Once again, I watched this with John, by the way. So I don't know if John, if you're still here, you can talk about it a bit too if you want. I think it's solid. I think it's a solid show. Um, it's one of the first Markiplier projects I've watched. I mean, I've seen his videos on YouTube. I mean, like one of his like short films or shows or whatever. Like this is the first show I've seen, and I remember me and John watched Day with Markiplier after, which is pretty good. Um, Honestly, solid story. I think you can definitely get some like, oh yeah, this is definitely made from a YouTuber vibes from this, or you could see like it's a little goofy. I won't go too much into spoilers. Um, and I'm pretty sure it got taken off of Amazon Prime Video, even though I'm pretty sure it was an original, which is weird. Because now if I look it up, I don't think you're gonna be able to watch it anywhere. The Edge of Sleep. Yeah, you. It's not gonna say. If I put skeleton. Oh yeah, that's a skeleton crew crow. It's funny. Where to watch? It's if I click on Prime Video, it's most likely. Let me do this without my title is unavailable due to expired rights. So it was temporarily. I don't know why I just opened up Discord. It was a temporary project, I guess, on the Amazon Prime Video. I'm assuming. Oh, Sonic Frontiers is on there, but you should probably get Platinum in too. There is a prologue for Frontiers. It's just not on. It's not on Serialized. It's on Letterboxd though. I'll show you right now, if you ever want to watch that before. I have to double check. Alright, Letterboxd ain't loading, but this yeah, that's pretty much it. Alright, Dune 2, probably the most hyped up film of the entire year. I will say right now, it's not in my top five. I don't think it's 5 stars, but it is amazing on its own. So I'm gonna rank it in between Shogun and Ultraman. Perhaps I'm overrating it for myself too. Like I can honestly go back and see it as like a 4 stars and rank it here. I definitely do not think it's 5 stars. I think 5 stars. Call this a hot take if you want. I think it's glazing it a bit. I also think Anakin's journey as like the fallen angel theme is better than Paul Atreides. I don't care what people say. I don't care if you say I'm wrong. I am right actually. It's just the prequels, the first two films didn't have the greatest execution. That's why. Um, First I got a Platinum Rivals Mission Impossible, of course. Mission Impossible this year. Um, Dune 2 is good. Story was good. Visuals were good. Action was mostly good. Um, Acting was pretty good. Characters, pacing was okay. You know, that's where it kind of gets turned off a bit. It's not 100. It's not 5 stars. I think that's glazing. Wasn't huge on Zendaya's character. There's definitely a few more areas, or like at least one more area towards the end where you could have gotten like that big action sequence where it's pretty much talked about and hyped up throughout the film, and you barely get that. The duel with Paul and his cousin was great. Paul killing his uncle or whatever it was, or his grandfather, was good. I forget the names, so I'm saying like the family names. Like those are fine. Uh, Otherwise it was all right. Um, Good film. If you're into sci-fi, you're into that stuff, you'll like it. Definitely more than me for sure. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Craven the Hunter. It's sad. I was supposed to see this on my birthday. We saw it a few days later on the 31st. I fell asleep throughout some of it. I don't think it was long though. It's sad. It's definitely better than Madam Web. It's better than Morbius. It's not better than the Venom trilogy. It's gonna go in the trash tier. It's sad. My sister liked it. She thought it was solid. My parents actually thought it was solid too, and they didn't really watch movies that much. My dad doesn't really watch movies. My mom does. They thought it was solid. They definitely saw that it was cheesy. Um, but they thought it was alright. I did not really like the film at all. It felt like I was watching like Morbius or Madam Web again. Story, the origin was horrible. Writing atrocious. Acting atrocious. You can literally tell it's like a green screen in almost every shot. Acting was pretty bad. Characters weren't interesting except Craven himself, which was weird. Aaron Taylor Johnson did pretty well in his role. My brother-in-law, you know. Pacing is I don't know, it was mid. It just wasn't really a good movie. It sucked because I actually kind of enjoyed it more than Lift. Watch Bubble? Yeah, I don't think so. Uh, I enjoyed it more than Lift. I enjoyed it more than The Boys. I enjoyed it more than these films. You know, like I even want to rank it higher than Tomb Raider and Ark, but and that's weird because it's not that good. But yeah, it's yeah, yeah. All right, since I do have to go soon, I am gonna rapid fire this. Gladiator 2 is gonna go at the end of next to Inside Out 2. Uh, Pretty good sequel. Gladiator 1 is still far superior. I don't like the rushed third act. I'm not a fan of the opening action sequence. I'm not a fan of Paul Sama being the son of Maximus. Defeats the purpose of the first movie, in my opinion, like when it comes to his character. Otherwise, it was pretty good. You know, the middle section was definitely some of the best stuff. Secret Level is going to be at the end of average. Actually, no. It's the same rating as Arc. There was one good episode, a couple solid episodes. The rest were average or below. So it's between the end of average or mid, or top of mid. But either way, Secret Level is really not worth your time. That's just me, in my opinion. Like, it's not. It's really bad. Actually, no. Speaking about bad, what if season 3 was bad? Like, may call this a hot take too. I actually liked it a little more than Echo, but in reality, it should probably be lower than Echo. I don't know if I want to have Secret Level on the same list as What If Season 3 though, because like no, I'll put in the end of average. Because Secret Level, I could say animation's good. What If Season 3 animation's good, but the storytelling, the episode lengths, so many missed opportunities, so much wasted potential for Secret Level. Very similar thing for What If Season 3, but I think What If Season 3 is a lot worse. I think Secret Level covers a lot of the games I haven't really played, um, compared to What If Season 3, where I'm into Marvel. Yeah, it's disappointing. And I can say without a doubt, Flow and Penguin are in my top five. Flow is in between Wild Robot and X Men, and Penguin's in between Flow and X Men '97. I did recently just post my spoiler reviews for Flow and Penguin. Both are on Letterboxd, but Penguin's also on Serialized as well. Flow is pretty much Wild Robot but silent. Uh, no, Beast Games is not. I'll actually put Beast Games where it should probably be right now. I'll put it between here. Beast Games right now is average. Like, yeah, it's not really a show I'm really ranking like that. But that's pretty much it. Flow is top 5. Penguin's top 5. I'm gonna take a screenshot right here of this. Flow is great. It's a silent film. Really good silent film. I 100% recommend checking it out. Animation stellar. It did deserve Golden Globes Best Animated Film of the Year. I don't think it's better than Wild Robot. I think Wild Robot's slightly better. But yeah, Flow is really good. And the Penguin's easily the best show of the year. Like, if you love Batman 2022, you'll love the Penguin. There's no doubt about it. And this is pretty much my list. If you want me to be serious about the Acolyte, I'm pretty sure it's between The Boys season 4 and Lift. I'm actually gonna get rid of this because this is technically my real ranking, and that's pretty much my 2024 film and show ranking. I want to know how long I went on for. Oh my gosh, I yapped for 2.5 hours. You gotta be joking. I wasn't expecting to be, I was expecting the stream to be that length. Like, also playing Marvel Rivals, I wasn't expecting the stream to be that long just for this, but I really went yapping. All right, well, yeah, ass, Akla ass. Oh boy, world's largest filler intro, and I'm ending the stream too. Thank you guys for watching this ranking. And if there's anybody new that showed up from my letterbox chat, thank you for joining. I don't know if there was, but thank you guys for joining. Have an amazing day. God bless you. I will be streaming Marvel Rivals either later this week or sometime next week for the new season. Anyways, have a good day. See you guys.